What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to Channel 99. It's another party cast. We've got with us today Axiom the Wise. We have Zero. He disappeared for a second to go to the bathroom. And we've got Andy O. These guys are part of Earthlings Entertainment, and we geeked on a lot of shit, man. Yeah, a lot of good hip-hop.
Yeah, we nerded in so many different varieties.
We played some D&D.
It was fantastic.
D&D. We played some
D&D.
a
little D&D.
Yeah, I got my first taste of real-life RPGing, and it was sick, man. No, I had a blast. You guys have a show that's coming up, the Bangarang, and that's on the 15th of August.
Yes, at the Shredder.
At the Shredder. So, everybody, make sure that you follow these guys. Stay tuned for the end of the show, and make sure you subscribe. Give us 5 stars. Pass the episode on, and have a wonderful rest of your motherfucking day. Peace.
Shut up and sit down.
All right, so who are we looking up?
MF Grimm, The Book of Daniel. So when I was young, man, I was like mowing lawns in McCall. That was my summer job. My aunt owns a lawn mowing company. She's married to a dentist, so it was called Tooth and Turf Lawn Care.
Sorry, MF Grimm and what?
Book of Daniel.
Tooth and Turf.
Tooth and Turf.
Swear to God.
So that was a lawn cutting business?
We will fool you.
Yeah, because her husband was the dentist, so Tooth and Turf. So
that's fantastic.
After the snowpack melts, she's the first to mow the lawns for all these rich condos and kids that go up there seasonally but then leave. And she finds this iPod. She finds it in a lawn. Instead of running it over,
You told me you found it.
No, she found it and gave it to me. She said, you can have this iPod.
How the story changes over the years.
She like found it in somebody's front yard. I don't know whose this is.
No, it was like Greystone condos, seasonal condos. So she knew.
Like out on the public lawn. Yeah.
And so she gave it to me. It was like, hey, just get us all the music off of this, because there's the full Beatles collection. There's a ton of reggae. But I'm looking through and I'm like, who's Cannibal Ox? You know, who is like shit. There was so many people on, like Marco Polo. I learned about from there. A lot of Northwest.
Dude, I love Marco
my
Polo.
biggest takeaway was
Merge, Ninth Wonder,
the Sand People.
Man.
It had the Sand
Merge.
People, all the old Sand People shit.
Living legends.
And so, like, you know, we went on. You know, the only reason that going on tour with Sapient meant anything to me was because I found this iPod.
Yeah.
Or she did and gave it to me. Whatever. Anyway, this iPod also introduced me. It just had all of this hip hop on it, and it had MF Grimm. I didn't know about MF Grimm, and I knew about MF Doom. I start listening to MF Grimm, and I'm listening to the Book of Daniel, and I'm realizing that he's talking about Doom. You know, like he's literally talking about Doom, and these aren't thinly veiled like lines. Like the mask took control of you, like Jim Carrey. Like lines very, very pointed at Doom. So
yeah,
take a listen to it, man. It's dope.
This is Hip Hop Hour with the Earthlings.
No, you don't got to play it right now. I'm just saying.
I kind of want to hear
point.
it. Yeah, everybody else wants to hear it. You just fucking talked it up hardcore. You might as well.
Well, and the thing is that Doom never hit him back. He says his only line about it was Grim Reaper Nukem.
And this is about their beef.
Or no, he says something else about microwaves. Yeah. So listen. He's talking about him right now. Grim Reaper Nukem.
So this is MF Grimm. So why does he have MF Grimm versus MF Doom? Like it's literally like he's ripping him off.
Actually, Grimm had it first,
and they started together.
So they were Grimm and Doom.
And they were homies for a while.
And this is like stone's throw history, bro. Yeah, you guys are like
they were homies for a while. And then the fucking album where he's like, even in the album cover, I had you a checkmate.
That's this right here. That's even on the cover, I had you a mate. Yeah. I'll point out these lines that come up.
This is crazy. This is dope.
Oh yeah, subliminal.
Put
marketing.
you in your mouth. Metal turned to braces. Yeah. So he's talking about all these personal things. Mask took control of you like Jim Carrey. Yeah.
Just gonna let everybody watch it while we chill.
Talking about his features right there, Mos Def.
Damn, dude, he is fucking calling him out, bro.
You can hide behind the mask. Yeah, dude, this whole...
He's naming names and fucking dates and places, man.
Oh, no.
Like, he gets into
If you look up this beef, like, dude, he murdered Doom. Doom didn't respond. He didn't do shit. Like, I think Doom's one of those guys that's kind of like... He's got his own shit, you know what I mean? Like, he's You heard about his Doombot performances and stuff, right?
No.
Oh, Doom did this thing where
But
he
also,
would book shows.
there was a thing about rap when beefs happened back in the day where you didn't rebuttal just for the sake of rebuttaling.
Right.
When you got owned and you moved on.
Yeah.
And you just hoped that no one else fucking saw it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. He took him for everything he had. And he's like, I have to make new friends. I have to move to a new city.
Move to another country.
Yeah, like he's like, I gotta change my life
He got
because
stuck
of
up in
this.
London. So what Doom used to do is Doom would book shows as MF Doom and then send another guy out wearing the mask, rapping his lines and stuff.
So he would just book like multiple shows at the same time.
I don't know if he double booked it and that's how people knew or not.
Not double book, but like, do you think he was maybe booking a show in Chicago and a show in New York at the same time?
I really
like,
want to know. Yeah, I want to know if that ever happened.
So
I never
regardless
heard of an instance, but imagine being able to
you
make
have
twice
to
as much
sound
money.
like Doom. Yeah,
So, no,
and if
check
you're a
it, though.
businessman, like I think you could technically do that.
What he's
Well,
doing,
but
what
no,
he's
it's-
doing though is
no,
claiming,
you can't, because everybody thinks they're seeing MF Doom, but do they really? Dude,
So
this is
he's
legal
called-
shit
he's
that I
called
would be
MF
interested
Doom.
in
Interesting
finding out.
shit,
Yeah, it's
right? Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
called MF Doom because he's based off of Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
Dr. Doom would always fight the Fantastic Four,
I do
and
like
they
Dr.
would and they
Doom.
would defeat him at the end of the episode. You'd find out it was a Doombot. It wasn't
Yeah.
actually.
It was
Dr.
never
Doom.
Doom. Yeah.
So he's staying true in a sense to this persona that he's built, and that's what his response to it is.
But he
is what
has
he's
a
claiming.
Doctor Doom persona. He puts
Yeah.
out CDs under Doctor Doom.
So the question is,
Well, there's Dr. Octagon.
Or yes, I'm sorry, Doctor
Doom
Octagon.
and Octagon.
Octagon's a whole different story, though.
But he's
We're
all
talking-
he's like he's got what 5 personas, and he publishes under different rappers, like under different names.
The real
doesn't
question,
he?
King Ghidorah, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
The real question is,
I'm just making sure I got my shit straight,
No, of
man.
course.
I haven't
Yeah,
been
no,
into
you're
the
right.
fucking
He's got
West
plenty
Coast
of 'em.
Stones throw shit for a while.
so the question here is he wrong for? Is he actually? Is it a cop out? His response, or is he actually playing the villain like his persona, like he brings on? You know, like
Man,
is he
some
wrong
people
for
get
doing it or
caught
not?
and it's a coincidence. Some people it's intentional, and you'll never know. But that's the thing, though, is oh man, we could talk about Doom for days. Not MF Doom, but Doctor Doom, Fantastic Four comic book shit. If we wanted to go,
Well, the other
nerd.
thing, and to wrap this up, I guess what I would say is, like, from a philosophical standpoint, us sitting here talking about it, if I went to a show and I thought it was Doom and it wasn't Doom, I'd be pissed.
I'd be way pissed, yeah. And I think you can technically. I think you can sue, but you could probably fucking cover yourself by saying, like, in the ticket sales, like at the bottom, may not be like the actual performing artist. This could be
Like
like
in
or
the
a
fine
third
print.
party.
But that's the
yeah,
thing,
it's a
though,
fine print
is
shit that you can get away with.
I'm saying-
who's to say that the other Doom is not contractually
Yo,
obligated to perform as
Fuck
Doom?
the law,
Yeah,
man.
it's
I'm
kinda
not
like
talking
if-
about law here. I'm talking about hip hop.
Yeah.
Fuck the law. What I'm saying is this guy who's playing a persona in hip hop, you know, we're separating layers here there. And I'm saying fuck the law on that. I'm saying, like, I would be pissed personally.
Yeah.
Legal repercussions wouldn't make me unpissed.
Yeah.
You know, wouldn't settle it for me.
Yeah, I mean, but how often are you
But
disappointed with an artist's live show after loving their music?
Also, how often is part of the experience, as he claims, for you to be pissed at
Yeah.
the villain? I don't know, man. That's what I'm trying to
Just
get
play
at.
a bad
I
guy,
think you're
you know?
overthinking this shit. Like,
Honestly-
he probably hasn't thought that far ahead.
But honestly, man,
Oh, are
like
you
think
kidding
about
me?
think about all the bands
know he
that,
has.
like the
He has or
bands
he hasn't. I
and
don't know, you
groups
know?
that cover their faces. How do you really know it's them? You know, like think about Gwar. Those guys are like decked out in just fucking battle gear or like weird shit. You know,
But that's
like
the thing
in
is, if
helmets
Kiss showed up
like,
and half the people weren't fucking Kiss, I wouldn't know. They got their
Well, it's
fucking
one
faces
thing-
painted.
yeah.
Well, it's also
whatever.
because you're
Yeah.
not like 55. You
That's
said.
true. That's true.
yeah. I
But
guess
that's the
if
thing is,
you're
I listen to Doom. I don't look at Doom. I don't know. Like, I could watch a Doom music video and see the dude on stage. I'm like, if he sounds like it, I'd be like, yeah, it's a little
is
different.
Doom.
Well, and that's
But-
another point to bring up is like how many people went to those shows, didn't know, had a great time,
exactly.
and Doom's job was
done.
done. Like,
yeah,
that's-
and he's like just hanging out like
if he
at
appeases
home.
the majority like
Right.
that,
Right? Like, I'm
just
that's-
watching
he's
it live
working
and
remote.
shit.
This is what I'm saying.
fucking popcorn, fucking jacking off. Who gives a shit?
He was
He's
working
working
remote
remote.
before the internet even allowed for it, dude. That's,
Just calls him in. He's just like,
he
yo, I need
invented
you
that
to, I
shit.
need you to fill this show real quick. He's
Yeah.
calling like 10 cities, dude. You could make so much money, especially because there are like lawyers who could write up, like, they have the vernacular within like you know, like a contractual
the artist
thing.
known as Doom.
Yeah, the artist known as Doom. You don't really know who they are, and they could word it in a way where you could present that as a pure contract, like and like a legitimate contract. Most of the time, these companies, they're probably smaller venues, so they probably don't have somebody like like somebody who can go through it legally.
But even back in the 90s, I wonder how often that happened. Just, you don't even wear a fucking mask, but you could walk into a show and be like, I'm so-and-so, rap their bars, and they'd be like, oh shit, yeah, you are.
Yeah,
but still, at the end of the day, dude, like, the people who are really affected are the people that go to the show and are like, what the fuck?
They're the one. Yeah. They're the loyal fans. They're the loyal ones.
I didn't read the contract. I didn't read the fine print on this ticket.
You're saying the fan gets fucked.
I guess I didn't get fucked. I just didn't read the fucking fine print.
You're saying the fan gets fucked.
Well, they're not going to get fucked.
I'm just talking about like
the venue
the morality of doing it in the first place. Like how many people took other people's spots? How many people did that? Like people were getting thrown off stage back in the day. Like it was crazy. So it's like for you to be like, I'm not going to show up at my own fucking shows, but I got this dude that will. Yeah. He might have people in the crowd that want to shoot his ass, and he's like, that's why I can't show up to my own show. So I'm contracting another person to take that for me.
Take that bullet.
To take on that heat, dude. What the fuck?
My point is...
He's dope enough to have someone in his life that's probably like that. And he's like, I'm not willing to take that risk.
I guess that's fine.
I don't know.
Listen,
what if that's what...
Doom can do whatever he wants. I just know what I would do. It's like, if my fear is that, like, I can't perform, then Andy O, like, I won't. You know what I mean? And that's the difference. But I'm not judging. Don't get me wrong. I'm not judging. He can do what he wants. No judgment. Yeah. I'm just saying I know what my code is. I know what I would do.
Yeah. Morally,
plus he's got the
morally, I think it would be more of an obligation for somebody who like feels like they owe it to their fans.
Right. That's what
you know, like they should be there, and like the people who appreciate them for who they are. I think that's important, but on the business side, if you're just raking in dollars, and if you're just looking at just the dollars at the end of the day, it makes a lot of sense to book 20 fucking shows or whatever it might have been,
and that's
with somebody in a mask who can rap your rhymes, and you have them on call.
And that's
or you give him like a 2-week heads up and say, hey man, you got to learn these, and I'll pay you this much. Blah blah blah. It's a free fucking show.
Another artist who has a really good outlook on touring, I think anyway, or interesting anyway, is Aesop Rock. He fucking hates doing live shows, and that's what I love.
Never seen him.
He's
live.
Fantastic.
We saw him, fortunately, for Tree Fort. He's one of my favorite rappers.
He's amazing.
He was at Tree Fort?
Yeah.
What?
He headlined the hip hop stage at Tree Fort like 3 years ago.
Dude, I was watching how that guy moved, and I
watched how he breathed, how he stood,
just how his body posture was, because I've never seen him live, and I was like, I
started doing that hand behind the back thing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Dude, 11 did that. I took a photo of him.
He points both his feet together, hand behind the back, and then just bobs at the hips. Yeah, dude, that's the exact thing. You've seen us do it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Axe is the first person I've seen do that.
I watched him do that shit, and I was like, yo, that's dope.
Dude, he's dope.
But it was
really dope.
But that's the thing though, is it puts me in such it looks weird, honestly. Like it kind of looks funky, but it puts you in a relaxed state.
Well, not
that arm just kind of on the hip. Like I typically don't know what to do with my arms when I'm rapping, so it's like, oh, that's what I'll do with it.
Well, and that's the point. Is you could just clearly tell that he did not give a fuck.
Right.
And that's the
he
whole
was
thing.
Comfortable.
Yes.
And I loved it.
And when you disregard...
I feel so much more comfortable.
You're talking about that.
Yeah.
I literally took a photo of that.
No. See, the difference is, though, that he did it a little different. So see how his is on the inside of his lower back?
They're usually diagonal when they do it.
His is more, like Aesop Rock's would be more closer to his outside hip.
He would rest it, on the back of his hip.
Oh, it's like a more pronounced elbow.
Yeah.
It's like an aggressive stance, but relaxed.
Look, my hand is just chilling right now. It's just sitting.
Let me give you a
my hand is
I see
just
what you're
chilling
saying.
right now.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Right,
and he would
it's just like a rest.
Yeah.
But it's both feet together, and it's just...
Yeah.
That makes it looks comfy. Yeah, that makes sense.
It looks comfy.
It looks comfy.
Is what it looks
my gosh.
But it feels so good on stage.
Looks so comfortable.
Yeah. But yeah, so no, Aesop Rock, he I watched this interview that he did with I think it was Open Mike Eagle. It was a podcast that they did. And I've always any interview that I see with Aesop Rock, he's always talking about how much he hates touring. This Open Mike Eagle guy got him to open up about the first time he ever toured with Def Jux and all those guys, and his he takes medicine for his panic attacks. He has just crazy meds that he has to take, and he's been in. If you listen to his last album, actually it's 2 albums ago now.
He talks about it though.
Impossible Kid.
Impossible Kid.
Yeah.
He talks a lot about it. and just having to visit doctors and things like that all the time.
Well, he's got the whole song. Yeah, it's a good album.
It's a fantastic album. The one he did after that, Malibu Ken, is the only thing I've ever not liked of Aesop Rocks.
I haven't really ever listened to that guy.
He's dope for the right listener.
To be honest, though, dude, Bestiary, Hail Mary Malin, like that stuff, because he's got Rob Sonic with him.
Yeah.
That's a great balance. I love Aesop Rock. I really love Aesop Rock, but his group shit, Hail Mary Malin with Rob Sonic, is primo. And I've said it before. I'll say it a million times. Group shit is just always better for some reason.
Yeah, I think it's like chemistry, man. I think people like to see I think like as a viewer, I like to see people engage on stage and enjoy themselves with other people, because it's difficult to see a solo artist like enjoy themselves when there's nobody to interact with on stage, you know? And like even like especially at big concerts, because they're all by themselves, you know, or they have like
be able to do that is the ones that can afford to put other interactive things
lights,
on stage.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
lights, screens, videos.
You can do it by yourself and still go hard. But that's the thing is like we opened up for Tech 9 a lot, and even then it's like I see Tech up on stage by himself, and I'm like, that doesn't look like fun. He's all there. He's
all by himself.
He doesn't have a DJ.
At least have a DJ.
The best parts of hip hop shows for me is the banter that they have on stage with the DJ, with so and so when they're talking to the crowd, and they're just like
it gives us something to look
people,
at. Like,
you know, and it's like this wasn't rehearsed, this wasn't planned. Anything can fucking happen.
Yeah,
that's why like when we do a band, it's like anybody could fuck up and it's going to change the show, but we all have to run with it and no one can know. So when you have more people, the more things can go wrong, so the more like you're watching everybody else, and things will go wrong every fucking show. So when things do go wrong, how are you going to handle it? Are you going to handle it with ease? Are you going to yell at somebody on stage? Are you going to blame somebody else?
The worst is when I DJ for like people that are just randomly like, oh yeah, we don't have a DJ for the show that you guys are opening up at, can you DJ for me? Whatever. The worst is when people like DJ with like, oh, I fucked it up, DJ, hey, spin that back. Like,
and you're not even like,
like a fade it out, go back to the beginning, and they spit like another 9 bars, and like, okay, they got it this time. Good for them. Yeah. It's like, don't stop. You can't stop. I
have stopped a few times. There was one show, because I have a huge problem with people rapping over their lyrics.
Sure. That's different, though.
Yeah, no, totally. And it was hysterical, because we were at, I don't remember what show we were doing, but we were at the Neurolux.
And it was me DJing for you.
I
had the wrong...
And I gave
Built to
him...
Spill did that the other night.
Well, I gave him the instrumentals, who then gave them to him, and I gave him rehearsal material, not instrumentals necessarily. So some of them were like the actual songs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember
so
that.
it was Keep It 100, which is one of my favorite songs.
Was that the Jerem Benton show?
Might have been.
Okay.
And so he started going with the song, and I did like most of the first verse before I was just like, stop. All right, you know what? I'm really sorry, guys. I hate rappers that do that, but I like this verse so much, I'm just going to give it to you a cappella.
There's a difference, though, between people who like stop because they can't do it and people that stop because they don't want to, you know?
Right,
that's what I mean. How many times have we had shows where I went and talked to my wife or your wife or whoever, and it's like, man, we fucked up so many times, and they're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, nobody could even tell.
Nobody knows.
No, it was actually Zero that helped me with that, because I emphasize so much on how I fucked up every single show, that I would get off stage and I would be so focused on everything I did wrong that I'd be upset. And this was when we were doing the big shows, the tech shows, the Rev shows, like all those shows that just brought in sold out crowds, and they don't know. And he was like, I remember you sat me down, I don't remember which show it was, but you sat me down afterwards and you're like, you know what, you fucked up. Get the fuck over it. They don't know that you fucked up, and you're ruining their time for trying to appreciate your shit that you were up on stage. This means something to them, and you're ruining it for them. And I was like, oh, man. I didn't even think of it like that. Like, he just changed my mind about the whole thing, and I was like, all right, even if I fucked up, they're trying to have a good time, and they're trying to come up and, like, get signatures from me and shit. I'm like, whatever, fucking fine. Here you go. Like, you know, I was bullshit. I don't give a shit.
The best is that you're sitting there thinking, like, You want me to sign your shit? You're an idiot.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, like
You don't
You're a
mean it.
fucking
You don't
idiot.
mean it, but
Yeah.
you're just like,
That's
did you
seriously.
just see my bullshit
Yeah.
show and you want me to
you
sign
liked
that?
me. You must hate whack fucking music.
What's
you fucking
funny?
asshole.
What's funny to me
Yeah,
is like
I was like that.
there's a difference between those shows, like a big difference between Knitting Factory shows and the type of shows that are at the Reef or the Olympic. And we get those shows because of Zero, and we've learned a lot because of those shows.
Yeah.
Techniques, we've learned a lot about, like, just style. Like, if people are entertained and they can't tell them, who the fuck cares?
Yeah,
They're not there to see you gratify yourself with a perfect performance. They're
Yeah.
just, are you not entertained?
100%.
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
That's all it is, man. Like, you're doing a job. It's a fucking job.
But that's the
Like,
thing, though, is after doing all those shows, touring, every show that we've done for the last 10 years,
hey,
the shows that I love,
6?
the shows that I love most are Neurolux type shows.
Yeah.
Give me 30 solid hip hop heads.
Yeah,
And
the Reef.
That's the best
yeah.
time I will have at any fucking show. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't need hundreds or thousands. I love it. The pressure's bigger.
Yeah.
The pay is
I
bigger.
feel like the pressure's way less. Because they're not there to see you.
I guess it is.
You know?
It is. But at the same time,
It's also huge because you have to set the tone.
That's true.
I think that's
Well,
where.
yeah,
where
also
that's
the
where
ability
we're-
to move a crowd that size is so much fucking fun. When you
Yeah.
tell them to lift their hands up and they all go
And,
from
like, all
one
of them
side
do
to
it?
the other, and
Yeah,
it's just like
that is a
you
feeling
watch them
like
like
no
a
other.
fucking militant group, and you're just like,
like a Simon
I can
Says.
do
Yeah,
anything right
yeah.
now. You feel like God. You feel like you're fucking
That
a
shit's
god.
intense.
The thing, like,
That's why I jumped in the Tech 9 crowd once. He was so pissed.
I
I was like, I think I'm going to jump into
beyond
the crowd.
fucking pissed. They
He's
told
all-
us not to.
They told us not to. And
Well-
but that was the thing, is after I did it, they didn't even care. They're just like, just fuck it. Like, you kept it small. It wasn't crazy.
Right.
You jumped in. You got back out. We put you back on stage. You
The
finished
shit-
your thing, and
the
and
shitty part
never
about
do
that
it
one-
again.
they never do it. Yeah,
The
never do
shitty
it
part
again.
about that one is
Don't do it
like,
again.
no, we were talking right before the fucking set, and I was like, look, do not fucking do it, because he kept asking. He was like,
I think I'm gonna
please,
do it.
like, I'm
I think I'm gonna
do it this time. I was like, no, dude, you can't fucking do it. They just told us, fine, I won't do it. So I'm like, oh, that's my brother. I can
You
trust
trust
him.
yeah,
him.
but a few
yeah,
shots
yeah,
later,
yeah.
you know?
It is the last fucking song, and I remember just looking at him. And I couldn't do shit because I was rapping, so I'm just like rapping like with my eyes like, don't fucking do it. And he's just like, I want to do it.
I remember being at the front of the stage looking back at you, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, you can't do
Could
it.
you just imagine Zero? That's a rose growing from the... No!
In my head, that's exactly what the fuck it was, dude. I was so mad. And like the crowd goes crazy, but I'm just standing on stage with my mic like fucking angry
you
mad dogging them.
fucking
dude.
You know, a good point there, though, like, and that's... There's a difference between rocking a big crowd like that and one
But they
that's
let us
smaller.
come back.
They did. They did.
The
Yeah, that
thing
was
you
a good
learn,
one.
though, is like...
Asshole.
You put on a good show, man. They're not going to say no.
We'll never underestimate the power of cheap tricks, dude.
Yeah.
Of like just showmanship. It's not like it makes the songs better, but like
Yeah.
when we pulling the DJ out for an example, like, oh, you think that this guy's just DJing, and then I go up and rap. Everybody's
That
like, oh,
shit's
what the
fucking
fuck?
dope.
It's just a
Everybody
pocket
loves
pull
it.
move. Like
That's what I was telling him earlier. I was like, dude, I didn't even take any photos of like Andy because I didn't even know he was rapping until like the end of the show, and I didn't even know he was part of the crew. I went to take photos of you, to be honest, and then I didn't because I didn't do my research.
And Andy
And-
comes out of nowhere and blows your mind. That's part of the
That's
show.
what
Yeah,
I
and so
fucking
that's why I
love,
took the
dude.
video because I was like, I don't have any fucking photos of this guy. I'm just gonna take
gonna wrap
videos
it.
real
Yeah.
quick. Yeah, got to get him on video at least.
yeah.
So, continue. Sorry, man.
no. I was just never underestimate.
It does surprise people when a fucking DJ just hops off and just starts fucking flowing, dude.
Yeah. Well, I was an MC first, like I learned how to DJ
Yeah.
because of this.
Yeah, we
And
did.
it
We
was
did a
like-
lot of shows without him being a DJ.
Well, you just don't realize how many shows are run off of the MC being like, I've got a USB drive with my instrumentals on it. Who's gonna play this shit?
Honestly, it was
Yeah.
it was our it just kind of added to our ability to stay independent. Like
Well-
we tried to run through DJs. We had some like designated DJs for a while, and we've cycled through different DJs, and it was just like, man, like if one of us could DJ, that'd be a lot doper.
Yeah.
And he was over here like, I'm
Why
just
don't you
maxing out
dual
a fucking
you guys
Guitar
should
Center
dual
credit
DJ.
card. And he just
Yeah.
like starts buying all the producing equipment and like MPCs and pianos and everything. And I'm just like, you've never made a beat in your life. What are you doing? And he's just like, well, I'm going to learn now. I have all the things.
Kind of committed at that
Yeah,
point.
and I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
That's how I am, dude. I just buy it and I'm like, fuck, I'm already fucking
Yeah, I
invested.
bought it, so-
I gotta do something now.
So he started
Holler, dude.
figuring out
That's
which
the way to do it.
Pretty
started figuring out
much.
which
Yeah.
things he was good at and which things he liked,
What
and
I
just
liked,
sold
what I
everything
did.
else.
Yeah.
So now he's got an MPC and some pocket operators,
Well-
and that makes for a dope show.
Look at
Yeah.
your video. You got the gorilla on the left side of your shit.
That's one of the most popular fucking photos.
That's a good one.
Or not photos, pieces of art.
Great.
But yeah, no. I seriously whittled down like my equipment and
Should say like wanted. It's like,
Harambe, dude. It's my fucking Harambe, bro.
but it also looks like you have a gorilla sitting in that
R.I.P.
right there.
R.I.P.
Just chilling,
Yeah.
Harambe.
dicks out.
No,
guys.
literally,
Dicks
I
out
think
for
that's.
Harambe.
I think that is Harambe. To be honest with you, I
hope
bought that
it
in like
is.
2007.
There's this local rapper with the Sauce Sully. Have you ever heard of him? He's got a
I feel
song
like I've heard of
called.
him.
He's got a song called Harambe.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Only a bullet can stop me. Feeling like I'm Harambe.
You want to play it? You want to play it?
No.
These guys won't like it. I do a local radio show where I have to listen to all of the local hip hop around here,
Okay.
and I just play whatever's good, even if it's like not my cup of tea.
Do you know who K Skeezy is?
No,
Kyle.
I do not.
He's been around like 15
Does he have a
years.
Does he have a
Skeezy.
SoundCloud? Because that's where I go.
Let me. He probably does, dude. He's local. I'll put him up here. I don't go.
All right, we'll get into that in a second. What I was
keep talking,
mentioning
though.
about.
I'll pull him up while we're looking.
So even DJing has just become kind of a boring, like, everybody's got a DJ. So when we got the MPC, now it's like, you haven't seen one of those shows yet because my MPC's been broke for the last 3 weeks.
The last 3 shows that
And
you've
I've
shot.
had to,
Yeah.
oh my fucking God. That has been a real
find it real quick.
thorn in my paw, if you will. But
fudge?
anyway, pull my thorn. Go on, boy. Pull it.
Is he the Cowardly Lion? What's
I
going on?
totally
South- yeah,
was
South-
spaced
South
out.
Park
All I heard
fans?
was
No,
pull my
nobody?
thumb. That's like
anyways,
hella old school South Park.
Oh yeah, like season
Like
2.
2. Yeah.
So you haven't seen
So-
it, but normally what I'm doing instead of DJing now is just live drumming the beats on the MPC.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm necessarily, some of the tracks I will play all the pieces where I'll hit the sample and I'll start, doing the kick, the snare, the hats.
Yeah.
Some of it's just sequencing. And you realize, for a long time, I didn't want to do just like sequencing the beat because I was like, that's cheap. I'm not actually playing. It's just like, you've got equivalent clips across all 16 of your pads and you're just playing them in sequence.
So, okay,
But
keep talking. I do have a question
but
though.
people, it doesn't matter to the crowd is what I'm getting at. They don't
Yeah.
give a fuck. Like if you're pressing buttons instead of just standing back there, like letting the record spin, like people are entertained.
And that was the
Like,
thing that we talked about too. Is there was songs like that weren't as intricate, so that you could just sequence them because it made it easier for you to be able to back up the lyrics.
That's
So
true,
on some
too.
of those songs where I get really breathy and I'm like, yo, I really need some backups on this one. Cool, I'll sequence this one.
Yeah, I can't live drum that. Yeah,
Right. You're like live drumming plus backing you up. Like live drumming is intense enough as it is. Like there's no way you can multitask. Well,
You could.
You could.
I've seen people do it, man. It's crazy. That's what I want to get to. Is like there will be people who have their left hand
Yeah.
doing like
Some
four
RJD2 shit,
pads.
yeah.
Oh my god! And then just spitting on the right, like.
yeah. Shout out to Fresh Kills, dude. He's a madman on the MPC.
And he's one of the guys that I look at and think like, well, fuck, like maybe I could get there. You know, like maybe I could do that. And like I'm no Fresh Kills or nothing, but.
But that's the thing is, it just takes
But
a
I've
love
got
of the
I've
craft.
got I've got an MPC,
You've
and that's
got
what it comes down
all
to.
it
man.
takes. You got to drive.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing lots of shows coming up soon. Like, I
Yeah.
can't wait to see what our shows are going to be like after tour. Because I remember anybody who has seen me go on tour, after I come back from tour, I do a show and they're like, wow, your shit changed a little bit. I was just like, yeah, I guess. Like, I thought I was doing the same shit over and over again. But
It does. Well, it gets tighter for one thing. You come up with a lot of new shit when you're on the road.
I guess he does
Yeah.
beats. Sorry. This Kyle guy does
No, that's cool.
K Skeezy Beats.
Yo, we still play beats
Skeezy?
on
Skeezy?
Crush.
Skeezy?
So
K Skeezy.
Crawford beats?
Kyle, well,
Kyle
yeah,
Crawford?
his name's Kyle Crawford.
I know Kyle Crawford.
We know Kyle Crawford.
Yeah,
Who
he
is
was at
Kyle
that
Crawford?
show.
I might.
He does more
don't know.
like. He used to rap. I wonder if he has any of his raps in here. It's more like 2005, like.
Yeah, the Southern 2000s takeover.
Easy.
Yeah, and
Dude,
it was
dude,
like
dude,
it was
2000
kind of like a
Southern style.
yeah, it was all Southern style. Yeah, like 2003 to like 2007.
That's what's funny, dude. I didn't realize it, but like, back when we were working with 208 Music and all the beats that Mike would make and stuff, I was like, there's something about this that I just can't vibe with. And it's like, oh, I'm not in high school anymore. It's not 2005.
This is
Because they were all
here.
very
It's
like Southern
it's like
sounding.
Trap, it's like trap rap.
This is dope.
This is way dope. This is Crawford. He's local.
Fucking send me this and I'll play this shit on Sunday, dude. This is actually really dope.
Dude, do you guys know who AJ Munson is?
Fuck yeah.
He's like one of my really good friends.
He produced most of this album.
You want to hear a funny
He's
story?
so good, dude.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
I've known that guy. He taught me how to kickflip in 7th grade.
You want to hear a
We
funny
used to
story
skate
about
and hang
that guy?
out, dude. I know all about. I love that dude.
I've known AJ since I was yay high. I went to a daycare center that was right down the street from his house.
Yeah.
And so I rode the bus to school with him all the time.
To like elementary school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horizon Elementary School.
I was
man.
gonna say. I was like, that's what it had to have fed into Fairmont. Did you go to Fairmont?
Yeah, and then Capital after that.
Me too.
Really?
Well, yeah.
What year did you graduate?
04. I'm old.
Oh, I went 08, but that's still.
So did you know Brad Meyer, football player? He was a year younger. That's my younger brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played football with Brad Meyer.
Oh yeah, that's my
So,
brother.
well, when you mentioned
And I
DN,
coached-
so of course you know Jarrell Root then.
Yeah, I hung out with Jarrell the other weekend.
Yeah.
Whoa, this is crazy.
Small world.
Yeah, small world, man.
Yeah, man. Anyway, I
You
don't know
like
how we
this,
got there. This is fucking fire. Well, I don't know if it's fire. I haven't really listened to it. This has got a good vibe, though. So, AJ
Here,
Munson.
this one's another one. Let's see this.
My earliest memories of
Roddy
that guy.
Pipe. Yo. He's the homie.
Who's this guy?
Roddy Pipe.
Roddy Pipe? Yeah. Is this guy good?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
he's from Las Vegas.
So this is what he does. He produces this shit, I guess. He's
Well,
been
this
around,
is
dude.
like-
They've been making shit for like 15 years, dude. 20 years, man.
Well,
like
he
these
probably
guys.
fucked with Mike back in the day, and
Yeah.
even back when. Who else has been around? Kiki Romero and like Sketchy Ways back then. I don't know.
Yeah, Sketchy Ways and like
And
all those guys. This is like he's like the younger crowd of that
Masterminds.
cruise. Yeah,
our
the masterminds.
our
Yeah.
very first video, Zero wasn't in that one, but our very first video was with Sketchy Ways
Hell yeah.
in the Cuna Caves. We took
This
it
is
off
pretty
YouTube
sick,
'cause-
dude. And so you guys know these guys, Roddy Pipe,
Mm-hmm.
Meat and Heat. That's probably the name of the song. Dude, this guy sounds good, man. And he's local?
Yeah.
Oh no,
well,
you
he's
said
from
Vegas.
Las Vegas, but he moved up here for a bit, made an album
Right.
with Mike, and that's why I met him.
Dude,
So then
Mike,
this dude's
Mike
probably
Roddy,
in-
and them came out with a really good track. I forget what it was called, but it was like the best one I've heard from them in a long time.
I think this was recorded at Mike's.
This is dope, but
This
this
is
is
way
over an
dope.
old. This is like an old
Dre
West
beat.
Coast beat. This
So
isn't-
this is him rapping, I think.
That was Dre beat.
yeah.
Skis.
Sounds like it, but yeah.
Well, it was It was G Funk, is what it was.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude, this
yeah.
is sick, bro. Yeah, this is like club banger shit.
Right.
Yeah, I ran into him. I took a photo with him. I don't know if I posted it. I think I did post it. Because I gave him a pound on stage. This is him.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
You know, so
It's super trap style.
have you been
No, the
following?
beat's fine.
Have you been
Beat's
following
sick.
the battle scene around here recently?
No. But Mill Bill and another guy. I've been hit up.
Hakeem probably.
No,
Probably.
No, Gonzalez. What's his name? He's been fucking
And
running the
there's
battle
an-
scene.
David.
Yeah.
And there's another one.
David's been going out of state and battling.
But he's the one who's putting on
Treasure Valley.
the Treasure Valley
TV
Battle League.
Battle League, yeah,
TVBB.
Battle League.
BL. Yeah,
Isn't,
Treasure
Oh,
Valley
that's cool.
Battle League.
Isn't
Yeah.
Ace Flow in that one, or is that?
Yeah, Ace
Ace
Flow.
Flow, Higher Thinking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what is that all
Yeah,
about? Let's
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about that shit. That's
So-
fucking cool.
There was a
Like
battle.
a battle league? Like,
There was
are
a
you on
battle scene
teams
way
and
back
shit,
in the
or
day.
No,
like?
so
shit.
do you know what like Grind Time, King of the Dot, those battles are?
Yeah.
So it's one of those. It's just the local version of it. So basically a lot of these other cities, they have pockets where they start these little leagues like this. Then they move up to a Grind Time battle. Then they move to a King of the Dot battle. It's basically ranks that you climb.
Yeah.
Basically based on who
Your-
you battle, who
and
you
your
beat.
region too. Your region.
Yeah, your region, your reach, how many views your battle gets.
Because KOTD.
Because
is,
you don't even have to win necessarily now. They don't even do them for winning purposes. They just pin two great icons against each other because it's going to be a witty battle.
Yeah.
And they pay both of them.
Yeah.
So it's not whoever wins gets the money. It's this event will get viewed, so we will pay both of you for coming out and doing it. So that's
Yeah.
kind of the goal that you want to get to. But these guys right now are just battling each other and working their way into it. So David Gonzalez, he's working his way into Grind Time. So he's done some Northwest Grind Time battles and been put on, so which is really dope because people are giving him shout outs like he's doing fucking dope.
He's repping the
Yeah.
he's repping the town. He's repping the state.
Yeah,
Really, you know?
so, and he's from Nampa.
Like the scene, the community.
Yeah,
he's
or at least he lives.
People are
in
gonna be like,
Nampa. I don't know
"Oh
if he's
shit,
from
this dude's
Nampa.
coming from like fucking Idaho, Treasure Valley. Let's fucking see."
Well,
who
and he's
the
not
fucking
just
rappers
taking
are
it
from
out; he's
Idaho.
doing it here too. You know?
So yeah, he
Yeah.
started his a battle league here, and we went to a couple of them. But that was the thing, is the one I went to was at the Shredder, and the problem is all of these types of battles are for the YouTube video, not necessarily for the live event. If you can get more people to the live event, that's dope. But the problem with that is they did it at the Shredder, and they had to use lapel mics to battle each other so they could get better
Those are
audio.
tough.
Yeah, and so trying to do
I
that,
have lapels.
the
I don't like
crowd
'em.
was going hype over the punchlines.
But you couldn't hear the crowd.
And no, that was the problem. Is the crowd was interfering
all
with the
you could hear.
yeah.
Oh, it
so
was?
so they
So
had
they were
ended
cheap
using
lapel mics.
yeah. So the video, like, they somehow pieced it all together, and eventually at the last battle, because people were so drunk, they were so loud, they were so rowdy, and it was the main event battle or whatever. They had a mic in the middle, and they were just like leaning over the mic, yelling at each other.
Yeah.
And
And that was the only mic that they used.
yeah, which is weird. So I think
it's still
Rel
it's
was the first
startup.
person to pick it up.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
a
eventually
startup.
he was just
but
like,
you'd think
"Yo."
they could use house mics. Like I thought
They were
the
using
house.
they did have house mics, but
These battle styles don't usually, like the other scenes, don't do that, and so that's probably why. But they've got boom mics.
You like share a mic or something.
Those
like
scenes have boom mics. That's why.
well, some of them
like-
have lapel mics too.
They're honestly,
mostly
man,
grind
you
time
can
is
get
lapel.
you can get
the
like a
problem is-
shotgun or a boom mic for
Totally.
pretty cheap, man.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
I mean,
$100
it's just
bucks.
all you really got to do is just keep
Maybe
the crowd
cheaper.
quiet, and you can make it happen.
dude.
I
Still one
wouldn't
of
even
the
make the crowd quiet. You can just buy a cheap fucking mic, dude.
Right.
I do a tons of video on my mics. Like I have a fucking $65 mic, and I don't even use a mic on the one camera that I use for the majority of my video, and it sounds fucking great. All you have to do is just go in, like, export the MP3 real quick and throw it in like an audio editor and just fucking balance it, low pass, high pass, whatever the fuck you gotta do. Just clean that shit up, pass it out, and just edit the video. Just throw it on the video, dude. Like, it's not hard, but not a lot of people really understand that. They're probably more, or like, they're probably thinking more about the logistics behind the entire show and not the quality of the video or like what's the end part. They just want to make sure the show is a hit. Because technically, if you think about it, everybody at the show is probably going to film it on their phones anyways, and you're going to get word of mouth, and you're going to get exposure no matter what, as long as it's a great performance. But
But they use
all they have
those
to do is
videos
just like,
as like basically resumes
well,
when they're
not
trying
just-
to apply
not
for
just
other
resumes,
battles.
but think
They
about
have to
KOTD.
show them a video that they did.
and
where
you
they
want to make it
murdered
look
someone.
really good.
Well, not only that, but dude, man, where like have you ever been to a KOTD battle?
No.
Where have you watched them? On video?
Yeah.
That's
no,
that's
I get
why.
it.
That's
No.
my
Video?
point. Yeah, fuck you, you idiot.
That was the first time I heard of Immaculate. Was actually through Grind
Okay.
Time, and my homie was making his beats at the time. DJ Beirut down in the Bay, and I went down and met him, and he gave me a bunch of his beats and was just like, "Yo, if you give me something and record it, I can get it to Immaculate, and Immaculate will probably hop on it if it's dope."
That's it.
And I'm like, tight. I need to find a place to record. I didn't know anybody at this time. I'm fucking 17 years old, and
Thinking you
I
can do
charged
it.
low dollar to record here, by the way, and I've had all those bands and like 5 more who've recorded here.
Hell
And
yeah.
I do cheap, like $20 an hour. So
fuck yeah.
yeah, so you're always welcome to like hit up my studio. Problem is, I'm
I'll just
booked
get you
like
high.
6 days a week. Yeah, just give me lots of drugs.
One of my favorite lines from Mac Lethal actually was a grind time battle. I'm almost positive against no, not that one, but it was against Dirty Dan.
Yeah.
Oh
Mac
You
Lethal.
think Tech Nine
Mac
runs
Lethal-
my city? Tech
actually
Nine runs
have
your
yours
city too, bitch.
Yeah, that was the best because how many times have we opened for Tech Nine?
Oh, God, so
that's
many.
like that's why it's like the fucking truth.
Well, the Dirty Dan was like saying some shit like, "Oh, you don't know about guns, and when you talk about gun rap, bitch, or Tech Nine runs your city."
Right.
And then he's like, "Tech Nine runs my city. You're from the Bay. Tech Nine runs your city too, bitch."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, for real.
it's like, oh shit. you
Well,
gotta-
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, that's a perfect, like, I don't know. Tech Nine runs every other
Dude,
fucking
his newest-
every other fucking local scene that local rappers don't actually.
His
run.
newest
Right,
album,
right.
Tech Nine's newest album that he put out, the 20-year anniversary one. He has a song on there. Oh, what the fuck?
He's only been around for 20 years.
No,
I thought he was around longer
it's a
than
20-year anniversary album, so I think it's 20 years with Strange.
Yeah,
Oh,
Strange music.
Strange
He's been
music.
doing this shit since.
Well, he signed Murs.
Yeah,
And
that
I
was-
mean, if Murs wants to like hop on board,
Dude,
I'm
so
all about
I
it.
That was the
interviewed-
Mayday one,
you know,
right?
Murs,
well,
I
that was the
love.
first one. You know the Grouches, right?
Yeah. Oh
so
yeah.
I got to interview the Grouch the same time that signing was happening, and so I asked the Grouch, I'm like, all right, off the record, how do you feel about this?
Grouch
This is
and
weird.
Eli was one of my
I
favorite.
love Grouch and Eli. Like
Yeah.
Eli is like one of my biggest
Favorite
inspirations.
producer. Yeah,
he's
dude,
fantastic.
so good.
Dude, the Grey Crow album,
So good.
Gandalf Beat Machine,
So
Level 3.
good,
Oh
dude.
my god, that was
You
the first stuff I started writing
that.
to.
Yeah.
that
That's
was like
insane.
I was writing like just poetry and stuff like that, and then I heard that, and that's when I met Chris CC Flow,
Right.
And we just started writing. I was like, dude, what is this? This is amazing. I started
So
writing, and
good,
it was just
dude.
like that Cannibal Ox type atmospheric spatial rap of just letting your mind go weird places.
It's
Didn't
like
make any
it's almost
sense.
like a sci-fi vibe.
Yep,
Like when I listen
100%.
to it, I'm like literally my brain goes way outside the bounds of the normal fucking.
Yeah. So we started
like,
telling weird space stories.
Well, that's the
The
whole
normal
thing.
view.
Cannibal
Yeah,
Ox,
totally,
like that
yeah.
first album of theirs, a lot of people call it like a dystopian album because it is a very futuristic. Well, I wouldn't call it futuristic, but it's synthy. It's depressing, and it presents a vibe of a city that already
and it's
exists.
nostalgic.
But
dude.
yeah.
yeah, it brings back like old school vibes, but like makes you just kind of like release yourself. It's kind of weird, Dix. But I know exactly what you're talking about.
There's a
man.
dystopian sci-fi novel, favorite book of all time.
It's
they started
called
a series,
Red
Rising. Red Rising.
Never heard of
It's
it.
amazing.
I've heard this before.
But no, so I loved it so
Multiple
much.
times.
Read the series, and he actually just came out with his 5th one like 2 days ago, and I just bought it 2 days ago, and I've been working my way through it. Fantastic.
So maybe that's
book.
what I'll do on tour is read that book.
I don't have
finally.
the first one, so you're gonna have to go buy it because I've given it to so many.
I mean,
Get an
either-
audiobook,
I bought like
man.
4
Just
copies
listen
of
to
this
it
book.
on tour. Just listen to it while you're driving.
They don't have
That's
books
a
on
great
tape.
idea.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't have it on tape.
Don't worry, I'll read it. I'll read it, but I'll record myself reading it.
Oh,
so
good.
we
So
can
that
all
you can actually listen to it.
I've actually,
Once
But
upon
it's a
a time.
dystopian, and I made a
Once
song about
upon a
it
time.
and put it on my album. Is the dystopian rap that I made.
that would be sick, dude.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's fucking
If you
cool.
need, I don't know if you've ever seen, I do a lot of graphic design. I do like 3D rendering. I do all kinds of crazy
Oh.
shit.
You
Yeah,
should make some
I'm
action
super
figures.
geeky. Yeah. Have you seen my nutrition stuff?
Mm-mm.
Let me show you real quick. Because if you're going like sci-fi stuff, yeah, I've done some very retro. Let me just do.
So let's talk podcasting.
Yeah, you guys podcast.
When
Yeah,
I
Our
was a little
podcast
boy.
is a sci-fi D&D campaign.
yeah.
I'd be more than happy to help produce you guys, unless you already have a full studio.
We
have
do.
all
We've
of
got
it
our
on
You guys are all
dude.
set?
We've
Yeah.
got like a whole crew.
I get hit
it's
up-
So awesome, man.
I get hit up all the time, and I usually tell people, I'm like, hey, I produce like 4 shows right now, and then I also have other people who come in and I produce them as well, and then on top of that, I produce music,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like mostly, all of it is unplugged. Some of it's like electric, and they plug it right into my interface and shit, you know.
Nice.
But like for the most part, yeah. This is my website, but I do all the graphic design for all this stuff. Touch here, but be gentle. So this is so this is my website, but I don't really care to go to the podcast section. Let me see. Yeah, so like I create all like this like if you guys like comic book stuff, I turned all my fighters into fucking comic book characters.
Hell yeah.
I'll just pull this up on the big page. In fact, let's let everybody watch this, because I might as well fucking promote myself. I never promote my own shit on my show, but guess what, everybody? You can't buy my shit because it's all fucking bought out by schools.
Hey, but it is FDA approved.
It is.
So
yeah.
you are
Well,
good.
manufacturing is
Oh,
FDA approved.
Okay.
But yeah, so I create all this stuff, and then I
Only
do all
Ajax.
sci-fi stuff. I create all this, like all the 3D rendering, all
Almost
retro.
like that 16-bit-esque style.
Yeah, that's totally my style.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where I grew up. And like if you look at like, I mean,
The old school
obviously,
video games, like the fucking car racer games
other
and
stuff.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if you ever need something, I don't ever offer those services, to be honest with you, just
Hey.
because like they take a lot of time. But I haven't done anything for like local artists as far as like musicians. But if you guys wanted some fucking cool art, dude, you just tell me what you want, and I will fucking geek, and I will probably charge you less than anybody else in the valley, just because I enjoy it, and I don't fucking need money. Like, I'm not desperate for cash, and it's something that I geek on. Yeah, I have fun. I mean, I build out, all kinds of weird, like graphic designs for myself. I mean, I've created.
We gotta let you listen to the podcast once we get the first episode done.
We're trying to get the thing.
Oh, so it's new.
Yeah, so we're recording a bank of them first, and then we're gonna
like do a full season.
Yeah,
like edit them and do a season.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you weren't there last night. Like, Magic Eye showed me the vocal effects he's put on like the OmniTool stuff, and Brenda. So there's like an AI ship-based like voice that talks to the crew and stuff. It's just me because I'm like the DM, So I'm describing all the shit and being all the voices, the NPCs.
So are you gonna produce the show? Like basically be me?
No. Our dude Jacob, the Magic Eye, he's the guy that does all of that for us. He's actually gonna provide an entire. It's between me and him. It's mostly him, doing like an entire OST for it. Yeah. And just like ambience, battle
What's
music,
OST?
original
Sorry.
soundtrack.
Okay.
I was going through that in my head. Is it OTS? No, OST.
No, it's OST. Yeah.
Original sound. He's gonna do a whole original soundtrack for it with a couple beats that like
a new song for every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna be able to like package it up, and we can sell like downloadable content for it too.
Yeah, we were thinking like Patreon. Like if we do a Patreon thing and people reach a certain thing, you get like the tracks.
You can get the soundtracks. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense, and then they can download them like on a special, like a pay for play. But then they can download them.
And a lot of people in like podcasting, they look for like VFX packs and stuff like that. Like, where can I get just different effects, sound effects, movie clips, things like that I can use.
And you guys will provide those downloads.
Well, yeah,
they're all 100% us.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. So
he went to sound school in like New York, so he's got like access.
Real cool.
Well, so he's just got access to a lot of stuff and contacts. Like he knows people. When you go to a school like that, you network,
So they're gonna subscribe like a pay, like a subscription.
We have no idea yet.
And I can kind of tell you because I mean like I have a network license, and so like so I can kind of give you like little bit of some fucking information.
We're gonna distribute through Eavesdrop is the name of the podcast network.
Yes,
and
the publisher.
Yeah. So it's basically gonna be published under them.
They kick it out. They'll probably kick it out to like everybody.
Yeah, yep. So it's going to be like a Spotify, whatever kind of thing.
They're awesome.
And honestly, I'm going to push Spotify more than anything.
But Apple, dude. So the homie, I got to give a big shout out to homie.
What's it called again? Sorry,
Koji.
Eavesdrop.
Koji Krill. We went on his show, me and Jordan, for his show's called Permanent PTO. Ease.
Yeah, Eavesdrop, Boise-based podcast network.
It's the one right there.
Oh, God. Oh, so this is an actual network.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They do.
So they're a producer.
They're not a distribution company. No. They use a distributor for all their people, or maybe I'm not sure exactly who they use or what they do, but right now PTO Podcast is the one that.
So does. So like they just. So if I wanted to get hypothetically, just because I am my own network,
right?
Hypothetically, if I wanted to consolidate everything underneath me into one brand, Channel 99, instead of the 4 shows that I have listed right here, I actually have like, I don't know,
you're like 12 shows.
I have so many fucking shows.
You're the same thing, essentially. Yes,
so
exactly.
So if I were to consolidate into one brand and say to all my fucking hosts and say, hey, listen, like we're gonna have to break out a contract, but we're all gonna consolidate into one brand, and you guys are gonna be employees at that point instead of contracts, and we're gonna link up with Eavesdrop. So they're just gonna publish me under their feed. And you make the money
and promote you as well.
Yeah, and promote my show. And then they're just going to give you a cut off of whatever the residual is, like on the back end, whatever like they make, they're going to give you a percentage of for the advertising. Because I have the option, because I've been growing at such a rate that I have the option to put commercials and like everything, and I would assume that they probably have analysts that say like, or not even an analyst, is probably just like a system that says, all right, this is the demographic, this is the people who subscribe to these like hashtags and like this type of content. We're just going to push it to them, because for like $800 on Podbean, I publish through Podbean. I do all video and audio. And for like $800, they guarantee me, and I've never put a dime. I haven't put $0 into advertising my shit. Yeah. I just go through word of mouth, because I don't think I should put money towards something until I feel like I'm good enough to like
ready to make
put myself out there. Yeah, put myself out there. And I've been contacted by companies like in California, New York, to like they wanted my content, but I was just like, you know what, I don't honestly like. I enjoy what I fucking do, and I don't want somebody to tell me what I do.
See, honestly,
and again, I'm not worried about money right now. Like, I'll hit you up in like 6 months or a year. I put out 200 shows in like 10 months.
And that's the thing, is once those companies,
it's insane, bro.
You just take part of their advertising budget. That's what you.
That's exactly right. They're gonna use my content,
it's
my
a commercial
quality.
That's going to get viewed. You show them how many
I
views
think
your videos
I should be
get.
that person.
Yeah. And you say, if you want to be viewed here, I will plug your shit. I will take a stop, talk about you, say here's what you guys do, and then get back to my regular
they're not publishing their show.
No.
Oh,
no,
I
you
thought
have
they were
advertisers. That's where your advertising.
That's
budget
where the
comes
money
in.
comes in.
Yeah.
Yes,
they will pay you good amounts of money for views.
Bringing in the views.
Yeah.
Yes, but you have to have a lot of fucking views, man.
True. But once you get people hitting you up,
and
for
it's
that
the Wild
shit,
West.
Yeah, you say and it's fantastic, and they basically fund the show at that point.
The thing that I would say about Eavesdrop is it's when we're talking dollars and cents, Eavesdrop is much more. Koji said it best, punk rock about it. You know what I mean? Like we've got it's a handshake agreement. I trust Koji because he also went to Fairmont Capital, and I grew up, kind of knowing this guy.
His name's Koji?
Koji Krill. Knowing this guy and then working with him. And that's kind of where that relationship was solidified and why we went onto his podcast in the first place.
Koji?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to hit this dude up and be like, hey, man, come over and podcast with me.
He's a great dude. He's a great dude. But yeah, our agreement with them is so very, very punk rock. Like, when he said it, I've been thinking a lot more about it. And it's Koji's like more of our contact, the guy that does the Eavesdrop podcast.
Koji Krill?
Yeah, that's the dude. Is really just it's all off of the grace of that dude.
Works at Mark Monitor. He's an analyst too.
He used to work at Page One Power with us.
Yeah. And so he, by the grace of this dude, like he's letting us use his studio. We haven't even given him finished product yet, and we've been doing this for 2 months.
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're working on it. He knows we are. He trusts that we are. That's what it comes down to.
Sure.
And the more that we're doing this, I'm thinking like this might not come out till 2020 when we do it, but they're very lenient and cool with it and don't have to let us do any of the shit that we're doing, but they do because it's like...
Because honestly, the guy who started the network, he was telling us about him, and he's just like some dude who wanted to start a podcast network. And
that's his thing.
And so he bought all the equipment. They've been slowly upgrading everything, and it's just...
Is it like is it pretty dope?
It's really dope.
It is good, man. Good. It's good for local community.
It's homey, man.
I
like it.
I've got a couple friends. I don't know if you don't follow sports, like one of my good buddies, his name is Shane. He's been on my show a few times, but he does like the Game Time Guru, and he's doing like numbers in one day that I do in like a whole month. And he's been around, but I've only been around for like 10 months. But again, I grow every month without putting money into it, so I don't fucking care. And I'm building a portfolio for when I want to like either say, oh, you should probably look at my fucking episodes, and if you like me, you should probably take me on board because I can provide content and quality. You don't have to fucking work,
Right.
I'll just do everything, and then you just fucking pay me and distribute me underneath your feed. But like this guy, he's kind of the same as far as like helping to build the local podcast community. I've been trying to do the same, and I've had like other podcasters on here, but a lot of podcasters I've found that it's half and half. Like 50% of the podcasters don't want to talk to me. They don't want to come on my show. They don't really care who I am.
Yeah.
Like, and I try to tell them, like, hey, like, I'd love to have you on Geek on Podcasting or talk about like the guests that you've had and try to promote you. Because, like, I have a fucking studio.
Well, and not only that, that's kind of what what it's about.
You
like,
want to build the community,
Well,
man.
not only that, if you're a podcaster.
Because if that person takes off, they're going to look back at, somebody's going to Google them, and they're going to find that episode that I produced.
We used to be into that.
Yeah.
And
but that's the thing,
we
though.
abandoned that.
But
the thing that I look at, like, sorry, I interrupt you. You go on.
What I was saying, though, is like, but if you love podcasting, that's what you're going to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you want to sit down, you want to have a conversation with somebody. Like, for a lot of artists, they get into a situation where it's sit down and have a conversation with somebody. And for the first handful of interviews that I've done, I was just sweaty. I didn't know what to say. I was awkward as hell because if I'm not rapping, I don't know what to say on a mic. And then getting into it, getting more casual, doing more podcasts, things like that, you like just sitting down and having a conversation with people.
That's
you
what I was
like
gonna
getting
say.
to know other people, where they come from, things like that, and you get to learn things about people. And that's why I am a avid podcast listener, because I get to learn things about the people that I enjoy, listening to their art, whatever it is that they do in life.
And that's why I have people like you guys on my show. It's because, like, I like to hear about why people do what they do.
Yeah.
Because for me, I'm like, why the fuck would you, like, why would you be, I don't know. I've had crazy people on here. Everybody from Olympic athletes, UFC athletes, Bellator champions.
Yeah.
We're
Like,
talking,
why
like,
choose that
musicians.
path? You could have gone 1,000 different ways in life, and you chose that thing that's hard as hell?
Yeah.
Not only hard as hell,
Well,
but
it's
like,
just challenging in general.
Yeah.
Like
like
musicians to
local rapper?
athletes.
Local rapper, that's what you want to be.
Well, it's not necessarily about what you like make your living on. It's about your passion.
And that's the thing, exactly.
It's like you're super passionate, and that's why I was stoked that that you came on the show, Jordan. It's because and obviously bringing these guys on, it's because I love to hear what people have to say. And I don't know, do you know who Jewel is from Death Row Records?
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, she
I'm
came through a while back,
producing,
actually.
I'm producing her next stuff. Yeah, she's coming in. Yeah, that's her. Yeah. Tupac and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she came on my show a couple times, and she hit me up last week because she was like, "Hey, listen, I have a guy in the UK who likes your style, and he listened to our podcast, and he wants you to work with me." And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Man. She's like, "I'll just pay you for your time. Like, what do you charge?" And I told her it's fucking nothing, dude.
Just say an outrageous amount,
$20 an hour, man. That's for raw, $20 an hour. That's what I tell everybody. It's just $20 an hour. I don't give a fuck. I'm not in here for money, but it's nice if you're gonna take my time. I might as well get a couple dollars.
Right,
you know?
right.
So, you want the quote of the podcast? It's that the ROI on passion is immeasurable.
It is, and I don't get paid for shit.
Like,
man.
that's
I'm
really,
bottom dollar on everything.
We're local rappers, bro. We feel you.
Yeah.
Andrew, would you do me a huge favor?
That's all I'm saying.
And take local out of your dictionary.
I mean, I'm just saying,
your vocabulary.
we are though. That's what we are, man.
But stop.
Why though?
Because there's a stigma about local rappers.
That's my point, though.
He's bigger than local.
Should there be? Why? What's wrong with that, man?
Because it's art and not art, and when you say local, it cheapens it.
I don't think so.
I think it does.
Let me ask you this. Let's talk about our crew member Clev.
So
Clev wants to be a local rapper for I don't know if that's what he wants, but
I made a conscious decision at the beginning of the year to start taking local out of everything. And this is the first time I've criticized anybody else for it. And the only reason I criticize you is because we're in the same crew and I love you.
All right, well, fuck you, but all right.
So say local all you want, but the reason I did it is because everywhere I go, I see that there's a stigma of artists, rappers, and local rappers.
Okay, well, all right. Look, I feel you.
And there's in every state, in every city that I've been to, there's buckets, and they put these people in buckets. And
it's because
I have gone to their cities.
Rappers suck. That's what I'm trying to make. I'm
what
making
I'm
a
saying.
joke.
Is I've gone to these cities and I've out-rapped all of them.
I've literally
tested
seen
my rap skills against these local rappers.
I'm a local rapper.
That I know that I am not a local rapper.
Man,
I am an artist that gives a shit.
I don't care either way. That's all I'm trying to tell you. You know, I've seen one of my favorite mugs related to our craft is it literally is a mug that said, if you're having a bad day, remember that there's a ton of local rappers out there. Or no, somebody that you went to high school
There's a
with
local
still
rapper
trying
right
to be
now.
a rapper or something like that.
fucking great.
And I get it, dude. I get it. Like local, like I lived with Ben Puga. You know what I mean? I lived with the devil, my best friend, the devil, and like local rappers often they suck. Like you watch Portlandia, there's skits about how local bands and local rappers often suck. You know what I mean? And I get that what you're talking about is like client facing, essentially. Like you don't want to present the word local to them, no matter what it means to you, because to them it means that you suck.
No, I don't want to internalize it because I've given my own definition to it.
And that's fine. I'm saying I did too.
It's like you looking at yourself in the mirror every morning and go, "Yep, I suck. Let's get this day going." Like, no, I like to encourage myself in the morning.
That encourages me though. Like I love this place. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like I see where you're coming from. I internalize it differently. Like I love rapping around here, or I wouldn't do it because I'm not getting paid. No, I mean we do get paid. Don't get me wrong, but we don't get paid. You know
It's not like a living wage.
No, it's a hobby. Like
It's
at this
a
point,
hobby,
like
man.
when
We
we
should
go
make-
on,
we
when we
should
go
make
on
another
tour,
You
City
break
of Trees
even.
album.
Yeah. What's that?
We should make another City of Trees album.
well, we should
You
make
should.
the next city. We didn't make one before. That was Ed, but
Edible?
Ed Abel, yeah, man.
Yeah, I love Ed.
The alumni.
I just
crew-
sent him a bunch of cool photos that I didn't publish, so hopefully he'll publish those.
Only because Jason D tagged him in the fucking Instagram post.
Well, dude,
You left
well,
him
no,
out.
he messaged me. Well, I didn't have. He didn't. I
I'm
tell
just
everybody.
bullshitting
Well,
with you.
I just tell everybody, dude. You guys. I shot that show, and then I went downtown and I shot the Garth Brooks after party.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
afterwards. And so I had like literally 500 photos to go through, and I tell everybody just follow me and send me a message. But I didn't talk to him at all at the show. He never came up to me or anything, and I didn't talk to anybody. And I was just like, people will tag everybody.
Yeah.
I figured people would tag people. That's
You
just
hope
kind of
people
how
tag
it is.
people.
You hope,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
if not, well, that person's gonna fucking snip
Yeah.
me out, man. They knew there was a photographer. All they have to do is just ask a question. I'm right in everybody's fucking face.
Right.
But
Who's
like-
the dude that was all up in our shit?
Yeah, who's the guy with the camera in my face that whole
Yeah.
fucking time?
Dude, I
but-
love that shit. Some people, like, I've seen artists that are like bat away cameras, and they're like, I don't fucking get the hell out
Yeah.
of this. I'm trying to give a performance.
Lyrics Born pushed me away.
Yeah, I could see that.
Well,
And then-
if you're interfering with, you're interfering with
Right.
the main
performance,
thing,
yeah.
Well, not
That's-
just the performance, but like the relationship between when you get between a performer and the crowd. That's
Yeah.
like it's nothing against you, but you got to get away from, you got to get out of the line.
And
of
it depends
connection,
on the
you know?
environment and like.
And that's where a
It-
big
there's
show
there's
versus a small show.
So many there's
Yeah,
there's so many different variables that play into how you need to interact, and like every now and again I overstep my bounds, but when I publish that photo, usually the bands are fucking stoked.
Yeah.
I was at like the Egyptian Theater the other night, and I was taking photos for Duck Club. They're like a promotion company here, and
And Eric put us on the Lyrics Born show.
okay, cool. Oh yeah, that was a Duck Club show.
Eric put
Yeah.
us on our first show.
Yeah.
Hey,
Eric,
Well,
yeah.
actually, Oso put us on our first show, but Eric let us throw our first show.
Eric, yeah, he's a cool guy. I actually haven't met him, and actually haven't really talked to him outside of what's your contact, where do I send these photos to, and how do I get access. And like it was literally like professional response. Hey man, we got you on like press access. You're good to go. And then here's my email address. Just shoot me those photos when you're done.
Yeah.
That was literally our contact. But he was cool enough to get me in pretty close to last minute, and I don't know honestly, like I've never shot at the Egyptian, but I literally just got up on stage and I'm like, at the very end, like the last 3 songs, I was like, if they're gonna kick me out, I'm just gonna start taking fucking cool fucking photos.
Get the
And if
good
they kick me
angles.
out, then they kick me out.
Well,
When
because
they
you've
see
been
the
thinking the
photos,
entire show, like, it'd be really cool if I was right.
the whole fucking show,
there. Yeah,
the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
show.
So you're eyeing the good spots already.
Oh,
you knew
dude.
exactly where you were going to go
I got
once you got on that
some
stage.
amazing photos of Built to Spill, and I made that place look fucking huge and like completely packed, just the way that I took the angles, and nobody said shit, dude. And I was the whole
Nice.
time I was like, oh my god,
This is
they're gonna
gonna-
freak
this is-
out if
yeah,
I get
this
on
is where they're
stage,
gonna
man.
kick me out. This is where-
And slowly but surely, I was like creeping up the steps and sitting on the steps for like a song, take 2 more steps, sit on the
Just
stairs.
like under the drummer.
As I'm
just
getting
like,
close,
hold
yeah,
on.
dude, it's exactly what I did, man. This is exactly what I did. So, but no, they were super cool.
fantastic.
So, shout out to Eric, Duck Club,
Hell
Egyptian
yeah.
Theater for not fucking caring what I was doing. Shout out to Built to Spill for just letting me invade their privacy on stage. That show was probably one of the best shows I've been to. all year, and I go to 4 or 5 shows a week. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, dude, they just fucking killed it for a good cause. But what were we talking about before? Sorry, I totally digress.
We
man.
need to talk about the catalog again.
I'm totally down. What was the what was that one song that we were about to listen to?
Do you have the tab holder?
Suck
That
My
first one?
Dick?
Yeah. Where is it at? It's the stick 'em? No.
Stick 'em. Ha ha ha. Stick 'em. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
That's not the one I'm talking about. That's a fantastic song.
Suck My Dick. I'll do Zero so quiet, dude.
SMD.
Yeah, he's usually that quiet.
God, why are you so
he's
quiet?
not.
He's like hanging out playing with my dog's toys.
It's kind of weird.
My dog's not even entertained by her toys, dude.
I'm just chilling.
No, you
Yes.
fucking crack me up. This song's fucking sick.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So
Well-
motherfucking titled.
Yeah, my bad.
Title, aka Jesus Ice.
Jesus.
In the cone for all you horseless
He's so
ignorant
rugged, dude.
motherfuckers. You hear the sound of bullets ricochet,
But a duck to hell.
God damn it, dude. My bad, man. We're just gonna
I need a
start right
female
there.
with a Kelly Price physique. I'm sick in the noggin. This ain't for the screaming.
This beat's so sick.
Oh, yeah.
This is a sick beat.
I think it's a Magic Most beat.
It's a full moon and my canines.
Sounds like a Magic Most
Now you're
beat.
speechless with your hands up
Like a gay mom.
I heard Snag
Magic
talking
Most
shit.
disappeared, man.
The bitch. Put a crack in
Yeah.
His first CD was so sick, though.
In my casket
Which
with a
one?
poker face, I'm dead serious. Ricky Ricardo on some conspiracy theory shit.
I don't
Gotta
know.
look it up now.
It's fucking old. Yeah, well, let's just listen to this while we're doing that.
Dude,
It's cool. So this is like, I can kind of tell that this influences your style a little bit, dude. You remind me like
Clever
Marco.
lines, dude. Like this app and self-titled album.
Wait,
This
what,
is-
what do clever lines have to do with your style?
But there,
I think it's more like the delivery. Like I can tell, like in both your delivery, you're kind of aggressive in your delivery too, dude.
Yeah.
You're pretty laid back, Zero. Like you just kind of you flow and you're like super
I scream.
energetic,
Yeah, I know.
and you're kind of like a balance, dude. You were really hard to take photos of.
Oh, it's because I'm like
Because you're always
twitchy.
moving,
I'm like a
dude. You're
twitchy
always
dude,
moving
yeah.
when you're rapping.
Well, what's funny is I don't look at the faces of the crowd. I usually look over the tops of their heads, and I'm like, if you watch my eyes when I'm like rapping, I can't remember what I'm looking at because I'm not. I feel like when you go into that persona or anybody really that does what they do and gets in the zone, as you call it, like you sort of black out.
most of the time, I'll you have to shift from eyes to eyes, because like if I look at you too long, I'm gonna start thinking other things and getting into your head, right? But there's sometimes where it's like I'll have this perfect line that's meant for a perfect type of person.
Equilibrium. It was Magic Most. Equilibrium was his album in 1997. That's the first one I ever downloaded his.
I'll remember real quick.
He had
I
one
wouldn't
dude
bet
on
that
there
I
that I fucking MySpaced in like 2004, and I was like, "Yo, dude, I told you about that." I already said that.
the Guttermouth guy.
Yeah, he was on. Yeah, Guttermouth was on the Magic Most album.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Those Floridian rappers, dude, they all get down.
Yeah, they do. Filmatic.
I'm trying to remember the fucking drummer, dude. The other guy who made beats.
Excuse me. What's all this rap
And like
shit
Hatchet
about?
Toes. No, was Hatchet Toes? That was Magic Most.
You probably think I fantasize of blasting a check.
2005, dude. These are like the old school shit.
I'm gonna punch you in
Skinny
the face
girls,
till your
eat some
teeth
food.
poke out the back of your neck.
Stuck Up featuring Self-Titled and Eternia. These are from like old school, like 05. Dude, he probably hasn't logged in since like 05.
Come to school, the gorilla.
That was, that's a great fucking song. It's a skit. It's not even a song.
Dude.
Nasty Toes. This is
was
the
the-
Hatchet Toes.
What was their freestyle skits, dude?
Yo, hold up, real quick. Zero, when was the last time you logged into Reverb Nation? Speaking of, I
Is
just
that
want to
like,
know.
dude? How about how
That
about-
was like his platform of
MySpace.
choice, like growing
It
up.
dude,
really
it's
was.
impossible.
It was
I can't do
super
it.
awesome.
Well,
Don't
no,
fucking hate you, little
MySpace
asshole.
literally. They literally lost. Is
I'm
what they
number
say.
one
I
on
think it's a PR
Reverb
move. They
Nation.
just didn't want to spend the money to migrate all of it, but they lost everything up until 2015.
Isn't that when Justin Timberlake bought it out?
Basically, and they said that they were migrating all the old music to new servers, and that the server failed. That was the largest online music database in the entire world. They had like 50 million songs or some shit like that.
Fantastic.
Spotify has like maybe 25 million songs.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, and they lost all of it.
I mean, it was probably mostly garbage.
Have you ever heard of
yeah, there's a lot of garbage because there's
have you
no
ever
quality.
Heard of Forgotify?
No.
Forgotify.com?
Is it free? Like streaming?
Yeah, you just go to it, Forgotify.com. It's where I find samples all the time. It's an
I thought you were
algorithm
just
that will
being an
give you...
asshole.
No. It's an algorithm that will give you... It will serve you songs that have never been played on Spotify before.
Forgotify.
Yeah, it's where I find samples all the time.
And
Kestrel,
is-
that one,
and is
Kestrel,
it-
that were
the
forgotten.
Kestrel
Yeah.
beat, like a lot of those
Spotify's
beats.
tough to get onto, man.
No, it's not.
Well,
It's
no,
because
it's not.
really
It's really
is,
not. For a podcaster, you have to have a certain quality. You have to
Yeah.
like produce a certain quality. Like
Who do you go
your
through?
bit
Who's your
rate,
distributor?
Podbean.
Podbean.
But you
See, I'll bet it's
publish
Podbean.
you publish separately through Spotify. You upload your RSS feed, so it pulls from Podbean, but it doesn't. Podbean doesn't publish to Spotify.
See, I wonder if you can use... I think you can use DistroKid for...
Or TuneCore, right?
I'm not a big fan of DistroKid, just because we used it.
Well,
as
I'm
soon as
kinda
we-
tied
CD
into
Baby,
a
as soon as we
license.
stopped,
That's what I'm saying. But
when
CD Baby,
your album
DistroKid,
got pulled,
TuneCore,
when-
those aggregators, like they do that.
no,
for you.
CD Baby's where it's
Podbean.
at.
No. So Podbean
They
publishes
made
it
up.
to
I
the
still use,
majority
TuneCore.
of like
TuneCore's
probably
fine.
like
DistroKid,
70
I like
or
that.
80%.
You just got to find an aggregator that will publish to Spotify.
Well, it sucks.
But
because,
I would
like,
have
for
to.
podcasts.
I'd have to publish it from Podbean to the aggregator, and then that would redistribute
Give me
it.
that.
Yeah.
It's not hitting right.
But for the most part,
Not
like
hitting
Laughable. So I'm on Laughable, and these are the ones you have to sign up through them. Like they require you send them samples. Like when I had to sign up, when I was trying to sign up for Spotify, I had to send them 5 episodes. They would review my episodes on the quality. I'm going to assume that their system like probably just measures like what's the bit rate, how's it streaming, like what's the quality like, is it peaking, like,
algorithmically, right?
yeah, it's probably
Oh,
gonna
okay,
it's just gonna go through, it's an automated process, and then it's gonna kick out yes, you're accepted or you're not accepted. But you have to provide 5 quality episodes, and some people don't know what the fuck they're doing for the first like 20-30 episodes, man. Like my first 5 episodes that I ever produced in the studio, dude, Spotify would have kicked me out like right away.
Will you do it
Right
real
away.
quick?
But that's the weird thing, though, is like even SoundCloud has a like you can do the SoundCloud channel where SoundCloud will automatically post to Spotify for you. It's like a paid
crazy.
spot. That's what the paid.
The paid SoundCloud is?
Yeah, that's what the paid SoundCloud is.
Okay.
Their distribution system. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
They go to Spotify though.
Yeah, because we started a magazine at our company and started doing a podcast about the magazine, and he got the first episode posted. He didn't even have to give him 5.
See, the issue that I have, and I'm not knocking on Spotify, or I mean, not
SoundCloud.
Spotify, SoundCloud. The issue that I have with SoundCloud is the people that I know who, and I've had a lot of local podcasters in here because I love to pick their brains, and you know, I just enjoy their company just because I know them and they're the ones who are like interested in what I do,
Yeah.
you know, and so they're always great guests. And I had one guy in here, and he has. I'm talking like CEOs and professional athletes and people from like TV shows, and like it's not to say that I don't have those people in there, but he does seasons. He does like 15-minute interviews on the line, like on the phone, and it's a whole different structure to his podcast. It's like 15-20 minutes. Mine are like 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
You know, some of them, the majority of them are like an hour and a half long. But like for the most part, I have open conversation. I don't interview my guests. I don't interview friends. I just fucking hang out. It's
Right.
open conversation. If we talk about aliens, we're fucking talking about aliens. You know, if we're talking about fucking hip hop, we're geeking on hip hop, video games, you name it. Like it's just open conversation.
Yeah.
And everyone is unique. And but I like his style. And he uses SoundCloud, but he only pushes it through SoundCloud. And don't get me wrong, he's got like, I think he does pretty well because of the guests that he has. But like, in my opinion, there are some things that he could probably be like, have a little bit of some outlight, like outside, you know, like opinion, you know.
Contribution.
Yeah, just be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey man, there's like a couple of things that I think could make your show, but although your show is fucking awesome, like maybe try this out, and if it doesn't work, don't.
Well, that's one of the
fucking do it
reasons
again.
why I
But
like
as a
Joe
friend-
Rogan's podcast is because it's like he'll interview people he definitely doesn't agree with, but you know where he stands on the issue.
Yeah.
So that's why you're going to watch it, is because it's like, whether I agree with him or not, I know where he stands on that issue.
Totally.
And now he's going to
Whoa.
interview a person who's opposed to that. So now they're going to have a really good conversation.
You know why that's appealing is because in modern society, especially right now where we're so polarized, having a civil conversation with somebody that you disagree with is not the norm.
It's
Dude,
so rare.
Dude,
Holy shit.
Dude,
The debates right now that are going on, the
I haven't
Democratic
even watched
debates.
them.
Well, I'm just saying, like, whether you watch them or not, they
I
give
just
them
don't have
15.
TV.
They give them 15 seconds. They give them 15 seconds to respond to a public issue. How long is 15 seconds to respond to a major issue that needs to be solved?
That needs to be talked
you
about.
know
Depends on if you got the
It's
question.
a snapshot.
I
Depends
get
on
what
if you
you're
got the
saying.
question ahead of time.
And even if you didn't, though,
Funny question you
That's
just
not
asked.
the point that you're
100%.
making. Is
It
that, like,
happens, dude. They all
ratings,
get 'em.
ratings and entertainment, though, is the priority. You're not the answer to the question, right? Like the answer to the question, whether they have prepped it or not, deserves way more than 15 seconds.
Well, and it's
just-
tough to even create a rebuttal,
high five.
like to even just like think of a rebuttal right off the bat if somebody calls you out on something that you're like completely taken off guard.
Actually,
about.
why is your
like,
beard
not
so
even
long?
on topic.
Depends on how much I've drank. I can answer that right now for you, though.
So yeah, it's
Specifically-
because he hasn't shaved it.
Specifically, it gets to a certain length. I got through the awkward phase. Got to this length right here. It was like not quite yet. Once it starts getting fuzzier on the sides, that's when it's the awkward phase. But sometimes you gotta grow through it, man. You gotta grow through it. But then it gets to a certain
It's
length.
like the butt stage when you're growing out your hair on top.
Your
Like,
butt?
you get-
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
called. I used to call it the butt stage.
Oh,
where,
I thought you meant like
your
the hair on your
bangs-
butt. Like,
Oh, no,
we're growing
butts.
butt hairs.
I have that.
Got you.
I'm just talking
do you
like it's
braid
like
it?
the butt stage when
Yeah.
your hair just doesn't grow over your ears and you just
Is it
look
nappy like your head
terrible.
hair too?
What, my butt hair?
Yeah.
It's curly.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, what do you have straight pubes? Like,
Like
It's
my
as straight as my
perm
hair.
pressed.
I swear to God.
I have perm pressed butt hair.
mine's in Jerry curls
Prove
right
it.
now.
I don't
but-
believe you.
Fuck that. I ain't
Tour's gonna get
Say
weird.
Jerry
Oh,
curls.
God. You lied about your perm pressed
Tour,
butt
dude.
hair.
Tour. We really do have to decide. I mean, are we going to listen to a D&D podcast, or are we going to make Cornell play D&D for the first time? Really,
Yeah, I'm down for a fucking.
Yeah, we
both,
gotta listen
man.
to quite a few to get in.
I'm not caught up on NADPod, but yeah,
No,
I guess
I'll go
to get
back
the
through. I'll
idea.
listen to where you're at because I want to go back through and listen to some old ones.
All right,
Because I'm at episode 70. You're at episode 12 maybe.
What is this?
Oh,
Your Dungeons and Dragons podcast?
Not,
Yeah.
this is a different.
There's one that I
What is
listen
it?
to.
What's it about? Does it explain the game or what? Because I
Yeah, so
honestly don't
basically-
know.
There
See,
is-
I didn't either. This is the thing. So I didn't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons. I didn't like it, dislike it, or otherwise until like 2 years ago when he introduced me to it. And I was like, "It's that nerd game, right? Like I'm into nerd shit. Fuck, I'll probably like it." It's basically a very quick and dirty version, and this is from a newbie, so you might understand. Versus when he, the dungeon master, explains it to you. Someone has a story written out.
Do you have like a whole playing
No,
field?
check
and shit?
this out. Check this out. So there's a story written out, and you play through the story, and you make your own characters that have their own abilities to do crazy things in combat and versus like from
So are we talking?
conversation.
Are we
and
talking like physical characters, or are you like?
no? It's a piece
all
of paper.
imagination,
It's a piece
man.
of paper
Okay.
that you have all your stats written on. Here's your stats. Here's what you
That's
can
all
do.
it is,
Okay.
though. It's like-
And so you basically you go through the story, and he'll describe the situation. You walk into a room. There's
Check it
this.
out.
There's
Let's
this. There's
do-
this.
you-
And there's
no.
an enemy. What do you want to do? So we can choose whether we want to fight, talk, whatever we want to do to this person to move the story along.
Can you just-
And in order to do those things, we have to roll to see if we can do them, if we can make it happen. So we roll. The dice dictate how successful we are with our modifiers and what we're good at, what we're bad at, kind of thing.
Could you assign that number to a specific
yeah.
Like-
So
it's
yeah,
like
there's numerous
action.
die.
skill or something
Yes.
So
like
listen,
that?
check this out.
Absolutely.
All right, Jordan.
Okay.
Jordan.
Yep.
You're Cash right now. All right.
Yeah.
I'm Quincy.
Okay.
You're sitting right now. Cash, describe yourself. What do you look like?
I'm about 3 feet tall. I'm a small blue kobold,
Which is like a lizard creature. Kinda,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I look like a little dragon, except I don't have wings. I basically have an orange jumpsuit on, and I love huge ass guns. So I'm basically like Rocket from Guardians of the
Yeah,
Galaxy,
but a
except in lizard form.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
All right. Well, you're sitting on the bridge of the Alessandro right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a ship that almost looks like a space like Optimus Prime truck, like an actual trucking truck, but it's just got big old jets on the back. You're sitting up there with him and Clay Alum too. Clay Alum's this big. He's like a toad-looking guy. He looks like a mix between like a toad and a. Do you ever play League of Legends?
Yeah.
He looks exactly like Tom Kench.
Okay.
So he's sitting there. He's the navigator. You got the captain, Captain Quincy. He looks exactly like me, except he's got long hair. It's kind of like sandy blonde, brown, a big old beard. He's wearing a trucker hat, and he's got like a flight suit on, but it's zipped down to his waist. And
a bum leg.
He's got a bum leg. So anyway, he looks over. Captain Quincy's flying the ship. He looks over at Cash and says, "Well, Cash, what do you got on your sensors right now? Go ahead and roll for your sensors check and add your dexterity to it." So he rolls a dice, right? Let's say he rolls a natural,
a 12.
natural 1. Let's say
fuck me.
he rolls a 20-sided dice, okay? If you roll a natural 1 on it, you fail. It doesn't fucking matter. You've got a 5% chance of...
20-sided dice?
Yeah, you critically fail if you roll
So there's a
one.
5%...
Which means you fail.
How
so
big
bad.
is that die right there?
It's
Or is
small.
it like
It's
two
small.
tens? It's just one small die?
Yeah. You can roll 2 10s if you want to get a percentage of 100, which happens. But...
Is that like a risky game? Like,
It depends on the
sometimes
rule.
It just depends. There's very advanced rules. There's rule books for how to play it, but they don't give you the story. You just kind of got to
and
make
then there's
it
like
up.
street rules.
House,
Right? Is that kinda how it
It's like
is?
house rules.
Yeah, house
essentially
rules. Yeah.
Some people will play with the flanking option. Some people won't.
And
So
we play with the
anyways,
flanking option, which as a rogue super helps me out because I get to attack with advantage every fucking time. It's super
but
rad.
the best part about it really
this
is
means
not,
nothing to you, but it's
What
so
is
dope
that?
for
What
me.
does that mean?
It means I get I get to roll 2 extra d6 every time I hit, man.
That's sneak attack.
That's
Attacking
every
every
yeah,
time you
but
hit,
with
man.
What's
flanking
every time
rules,
you
I get
hit,
advantage, and when I attack with advantage, I get my sneak attack.
It
damn
means
What
it.
does
he
it
gets-
mean when you make your hit?
Okay, so check this out.
Like you make a call and you're within a
Say,
if you say-
so like,
like a plus
like,
or
hey,
minus or
there's a
what?
bad guy. I swing on
You
him.
don't even know
okay.
this either, do you?
Swing to
Nope,
attack.
I'm sitting
Cool.
back and
I
listening.
roll,
An-
and
an attack roll.
The enemy has an AC, an armor class. So I roll a 14. His AC was 13. That means I just hit him.
And
just
how do you
barely
know
hit.
it's a 13?
Because he tells me, the
he
DM.
doesn't know. He doesn't know.
I say I roll and I go. I got a 14.
These are already things that you already
yes.
have planned
He's
out.
rolling against me.
And
I
he
play
tells
the
me,
enemies.
"Do you hit?"
As the
okay.
dungeon master, I play everything except for them.
You're
Yeah.
you're the house.
I'm
He's
the
the
video
NPC.
game. I'm the
You're
video
the
game.
house.
He's all the NPCs. He's the bad guys. he's
Oh,
the story. He's the
shit.
narrator.
So then, if I were to hop
We're
in
just
on a
players
game,
in
could you
his
and-
game.
Could you and I take like an? Could you and I like become allies and play?
So check it
against
out.
Him?
So,
do you guys
yes.
do those types of
Well,
games?
Yes,
Cash,
but
if
if
you
you
look over to your left over there, we've just picked up another passenger. Not Clay. Oh, that's okay, Captain. We're talking about that other guy over there. Yeah, Clay, we're talking about that other guy over there. He points over to you.
Yeah.
Describe yourself. What do you look like? Yeah, and that's exactly how
Yeah.
it works. Is I just bring you in on the game like
I'm
that.
5'4". I'm very petite. I'm blonde.
What race are you?
Are you a human?
I'm
an
elvish.
elf? Okay,
Elvish.
okay. What
Full
is your
elf?
Full elf.
Okay.
My name is.
Jeffrey.
No, it's a chick. I'm creating a girl right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go
I
for
want to
it.
make her badass.
word?
Yeah.
What's a good elf name for a chick? I don't know Elvish, man.
You can be whatever you want. This is space.
Lathora?
Lathora.
Yeah.
There you go. Let's do Lathora. Solid.
Right, of course. Well, I knew
This
that.
chick's
'cause
hot.
it-
She's got blue eyes. She's got fucking pointy ass ears.
Hell yeah. Goddamn, boss, who's this fucking hot ass elf?
What'd I
you brought
say?
on
She was
board?
5'4". She's 5'4".
Shit, son.
She's like Robin Hood.
So she's dope with a bow.
She's hot.
So there you
Yeah,
go.
She
Yeah.
kills it, man. So Lathoria.
Right.
That's who I am.
Well, Cash, it seems we brought
About
upon
to fuck shit up.
we brought Lathoria upon because we needed a little extra muscle in our next up here and upcoming encounter. And Lathoria's friend over here, the paladin named Zero. Zero, go ahead and describe
From the
yourself. What
dead,
do you look
bro.
like, right? What do
Yeah.
you look like, Zero?
You're a fucking zombie.
I'm
night,
fucking.
dude.
I'm 7 feet.
Okay.
Oh, are you a barbarian? Please tell me you're a barbarian.
I said
I'm a fucking
paladin,
barbarian.
but he's a barbarian.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
barbarian.
Don't get my shit mixed up. I'll cut your
You're
head
a
off.
7-foot barbarian.
No, you're a
Okay.
giant, dude. You're like
Pretty
Goliath
fucking
from
much.
the Bible.
It
bro.
literally would be a Goliath.
It's a play.
Yeah.
It's a playable race.
You got
Okay,
you got
Goliath?
Yeah.
you got
They
like
don't-
6
they don't
fingers
grow
and
any
6
hair,
toes,
though.
dog. You got at least 6
Goliaths
toes.
don't grow any hair or beard hair at all.
I'll be bald. It's all good.
Okay,
7
okay.
feet. I can handle it.
Fuck shit up.
Seems
dude.
like Cash. When I meant extra muscle, I was talking about the Goliath over here, named.
Thump.
There you go. Okay, so that
Thump.
that
I like
right
that.
there.
That's good.
That's
Thump.
him responding in character. That's you role playing. Anyway, Thump, real great to have you aboard. This here's Cash. He's my sensors guy. Pretty much anything out there he'll pick up. he doesn't roll a fucking natural one.
Dude, do we need dice? Can we play with cards?
You can actually do a random number
Dude,
generator
let's
on your
play a
phone.
quick little round, man.
We're on the ship right now.
Let's fucking do it, dude.
we're on the
Lithori
outside.
is about to fuck shit up right now, dude.
I could put you through a quick like battle against a wolf or some shit. I don't know.
We should touch down on Shoal real quick.
I'll play,
dude. We haven't even released the first episode, so let's not let's not talk about that.
I'm bringing up.
All right, go to. You really want to do this?
Fuck yeah, I want to do this. This is Channel 99 Party Cast, bro. We do whatever the fuck we want, man.
I used to have a
Dungeons.
Do you have a dice roller on your phone?
No, I'm about to get one though.
All right, we'll use your phone.
And, we could even do it on the fucking TV, man.
Actually, yeah, do that and pull up the. Do me a favor and do a search for.
Just Google dice roller.
Yeah,
I know. I got
that's
it
fine.
right here.
You need a dice roller.
No,
and then
you need the mobile version. It's got literally every die you need: the 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 20.
Dice roller, and I think we can probably. Which one do you want though?
Dice.
Like a 10 side or 20 side?
You need one that will do all of them.
20
Actually,
side?
you need a 20 side. Is
Let
the
me
most
do
important.
Dungeons and
That's
Dragons.
what
I was
had.
gonna say.
It's the answer for dice roller, but it shows up different on.
I'm on Bing. You're on Google. Yeah, I'm a Bing guy, man. Dude,
Really?
they pay me like $200 a year to use their shit.
They do have really good.
Dude, I pay for my Xbox Live every year, and I buy probably 3 or 4 games every year for free just because I use this shit every day for work. I'm on my computer, man. And they fucking give you points for searches and shit. It's fucking crazy.
That's dope.
Yeah, and
With
then
the
you just
amount
fucking
of
get money,
with
dude.
the amount of shit that I fucking Google,
Microsoft,
could
dude,
make some money.
get on
All
some
right,
fucking
cool.
Bing, bro.
You guys
I've been
are
doing
gonna
it for
be-
years, man.
Bing.
I
I've
got
probably
you.
made
You got us.
$1,000
If
off
you guys
those
can get a dice roller,
That's
just
dope.
if you just do that Wizards one right there, www.
Dice roller D&D right here.
Wizards.com, that first one.
Yep.
It'll give you. There
Yep,
you go.
there you go.
Perfect. All right, so leave that up there.
I wish I could
You
make it
guys,
bigger.
we're just gonna assume that. So there's 6 attributes that a character has: strength, Constitution.
I don't have my character sheet.
It doesn't matter. All of your attributions are going to be at 10, so there's no bonus.
Oh,
or no.
I've got a note so I can fucking write my shit down, dog.
Just for simplicity's
You
sake.
got Samsung though, right?
Yeah.
You got the Edge.
I'll tell you what. Here's what we're going to do.
Galaxy.
For
Edgy
simplicity's
bitch.
sake,
Is that the Edge? The
do you want to be more of a strength
it's the Galaxy
or
S
a
something
ranged
10.
character?
S10?
We'll
Oh
do
yeah,
strength.
it's S10
Strength?
Edge or
Okay.
whatever. It's not the note. but
Cash,
it's like
you're a
the
ranged
equivalent.
character.
It's the
Are
same
you,
fucking thing, dude.
Are you more of like
Same
a
thing.
you shoot a bow or you swing a sword type person?
Well, I'm an elf.
I said Robin Hood.
Okay,
I'm
so
elf, yeah. So I
That's
gotta.
a bow.
I'm a
Dexterity.
distance. I'm like.
So
I'm
here's what we'll do.
distance.
Here's what we'll do is we're
But
gonna
I'm
give
shooting
you
heavy
That's
fucking
okay.
rounds, bro.
That's all right. That's all right.
I'm a beastie fucking 5'4",
Right.
little elvish bitch.
Okay, cool. So here's what we're gonna do. I need you to remember these things.
Okay.
There's 6 different traits that they all have, but the only ones we need to worry
Here.
about right now
Let me
is
just pull up a notepad and we'll just fucking write them out underneath.
I don't
here.
want to get too extensive into it. We're just
Okay.
going to be very
Because there's a
simple.
lot more that's going to come.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So we just remember it?
Strength and dexterity. Okay. Cornell's pretty good with strength, or Thump is pretty good with strength. He's got a giant battle axe, and it does 1d12.
You're gonna have my axe.
1d12 of damage.
Hell yeah.
You guys all have +1 proficiency. So what that means is for anything that you do when you swing your axe, you're just going to add 2 to whatever's rolled up there, okay? Is that cool?
Tight.
You are dexterity.
Every time you
you're going to
attack.
be shooting. It's the same rules as him.
Okay.
You guys are both going to be adding +2 to your shots,
'Kay.
to whatever you're shooting. I'm going to say you're both shooting you got a laser bow or a laser crossbow. That's what you got.
Whoa.
You've got.
Can I use my shotgun, my scattergun?
What? Just yeah.
Plus
No.
2d4. That's all it is. 2d4 plus 2.
Do I not have
Sure.
a specialty? Do I not have like after I make so many attacks, like do I not get like a fucking
If
powerful
you were
shot?
to level up, like at higher levels, you do. But because
Okay.
we're keeping it simple.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
just
so-
fucking attack. So +2 on my bow.
Right. So out of nowhere, all of you guys see Captain Quincy goes, "What in Jesus crust name is that over there?"
Fucking captain. I don't know.
And you guys look over to see 3 goblins, little goblin dudes. Dude, look up right now. Do me a favor. Look up D&D battle music. We're doing this. We're doing this.
We're going to do a real battle.
music?
We're doing
Yeah,
a real
dude.
battle.
I'm gonna let everybody just watch this.
For some reason, Final Fantasy music just came in my head.
That would work perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wish that was bigger.
I don't know if you're worried about like licensing or anything like that on this?
No, it doesn't matter, dude.
Pull up some Final Fantasy music.
I usually go with like
not
Pirates
big
of the
enough
Caribbean shit.
anyways.
That's fine too.
Oh my god.
Dude, they got good battle music. What's his name who makes the fucking soundtrack?
To what?
Klaus?
To what?
Klaus?
Klaus something.
I'm a Danny Elfman guy myself.
Okay, we're looking.
And of course
Okay.
Hans Zimmer, but
Hans Zimmer, that's my nigga.
Y'all
right
like
there.
falling asleep on fucking pianos, don't you?
Yeah.
Dude,
Chill
the
versus
Final
aggressive.
Fantasy, dude. But the Final Fantasy composer came out with a like an orchestrated
Doug.
like album,
Mhm.
and it was unbelievable, bro.
Word.
Like that's the one we should probably
Final Fantasy battle music. Just type that in.
Woodkid.
battle.
He's got amazing music too. He actually did some of the music for.
Type in music. And
Orchestra version.
Music. You need a
Distant
longer.
World.
You need like a longer, like a 20-minute
yeah.
mix. That's the reason.
Here,
Actually, go
right
down
here.
to that.
This one right here. This is 35 minutes.
Perfect. All right. So
This shit is gonna be fucking dope, dude.
All right, so we run
And
into
we'll
three
make
goblins.
it live. All right, so we run into 3 fucking goblins. This is gonna be fucking sick, dude.
yeah, middle of the ship bridge. Actually, you're in the training room, so you know this isn't a. Actually, you're in the middle of the ship. These goblins are like coming out of fucking nowhere.
Oh shit, they're coming through the vents.
No, they just showed up. You're like, how did they get in here? I don't know. No, they came up on the elevator. There's an elevator in the middle of this room that goes from this top floor here, which is the bridge, down on into the bottom floor in the cargo bay. Captain's a smuggler. You guys know this because you're familiar with him, but that cargo bay is where he keeps a lot of his shit, his contraband. Cash especially knows this. So perhaps these you got to give me battle music, dude. Like I need
Like battle.
Yeah, we're about
Well,
to get
I
into
mean, maybe if you go more into it.
that's fine. Go further in. I don't care.
I mean,
but it's got. We need a little bit more of a
Honestly, the top YouTube answer.
perfect right here.
Okay.
Nigga,
let's
all
what'd
of a
I tell you?
sudden-
What'd I tell you?
All of a sudden, up out of this elevator comes 3 goblins, and they look at
Leading
you
into
and
it.
they go. The biggest one right in the front. He's actually about to square up right with you, Thump. He looks at all of you guys and goes, "This ship is ours, motherfuckers!" And he's got a little patch over his eye. Obviously, he's a little space pirate. So,
Oh hell no! Do I get an attack of opportunity?
no, but
Oh,
you
yeah,
guys
that's
can
right.
go ahead. You guys
So
go
we got
ahead.
sci-fi shit going.
What you
Roll
do
initiative.
is roll initiative right now.
Okay.
So go to your dice roller up there, and everybody needs to roll a d20. These 2 are going to add a +1 to their initiative. You don't get that, unfortunately, big strong man.
Okay, so
11.
when I roll, which
Uh-huh.
one do I roll?
The
Which
d20,
die?
the one on the very bottom. Yep, go ahead and roll that once. That's for you.
You got a 19.
You got a
Hell
20.
yeah.
You got a 20. Roll it 2 more times.
2 more times.
No, I got an 11.
So
Oh,
I got
you
a
did?
19.
One more time, and
2.
then you got a 2. Okay, that's fine. And you got an 11.
Yeah.
What does
Okay,
that mean,
cool.
though?
That means your
This
turn order.
determines our order of turns. So,
Oh,
That's just
You-
horseshit.
no, sorry. You left. What was your name again?
Lithoria?
I'm
Lithoria?
Lithoria.
You're really quick off the draw, being an elf.
Yeah.
You see these guys come up through the elevator, and almost before this guy's finished with his motherfucker, you are ready to loose a bull. They're about, or a bolt, I guess. They're about 30 feet away. You can either move or attack.
They're 30 feet away?
Yeah, you have a clear shot, man. You raising your bow, and this guy's
Where are
head
these guys
is
at?
in your sights.
Where's my team?
We're right behind you.
Thump is in the middle, and you 2 are essentially flanking him.
I'm
on either
attacking.
side.
I'm attacking.
Go ahead
yeah,
and
I'm
roll
a-
it.
Fuck
I
that
got
dude
your
up.
back, Lithoria.
Roll a d20.
13.
You definitely. This is easy shit for you.
+2 to hit.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Easy
You got
shit for
15.
you. So you definitely hit above their. You +2. You actually.
I hit a 15 on that guy.
You barely. This is not as easy as you thought. You barely just hit this guy, but he's quick. That's what you realize about these little goblins is they move fast, almost faster than you, but not quite enough. Go ahead and roll 1d. What do you have? 2d4 is yours.
2d4s.
Go ahead and roll 1d8, and you're gonna add 1 to this.
Ooh.
2.
So,
you do 2
so
damage.
with how quick this goblin is, he's really fast, and you just kind of clip him on the shoulder. You do see this kind of blackish blood spurt out the side of his shoulder.
So I
as
hurt
the
him a
bull-
little bit.
Yeah, but
Like I shook him up.
he looks at you,
Yeah.
bares his teeth, nasty yellow, sharp, craggly teeth with drool coming out, raises his laser scimitar, and just starts coming right after you. Turn order goes to you next, Cash.
Okay.
Fucking save me, dog.
I'm gonna use my bonus action to backflip on top of Thump,
Okay.
and then shoot the first goblin I see, fucking sneering at him with my fucking scatter.
At her, you mean?
Her. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Lithoria.
Go ahead and roll.
got you.
Because
Go ahead and
you're
roll for an
probably
attack.
just want to bang her secretly.
Hell yeah.
Lithoria and
11.
Oh man, these things are too fast for you, dude.
God damn.
You're not able to hit it, unfortunately, and it dodges quickly out of the way with lightning-like speed and continues on towards Lithoria. These goblins are all going to roll attacks against each one of you, so go ahead and roll a d20 for me 3 times.
1, 2,
So 13, 15, 10.
10.
I'm going to say your ACs are all 14. No, your ACs are all 15.
Okay.
And so what were those rolls?
13, 15, 10.
So, with these 3, what happens is these goblins, the one that is headed straight for Lithoria has fucking murder in its eye with 1 patch, and goes ahead and swings at you for, go ahead and 1d6. It does 2 damage against you. You have 10. You have 10 hit points.
Ooh.
So you've got 8 hit points left. So it's just done 2 damage to you.
Lithoria.
But the other 2, as they kind of back up and see this towering, first this big Goliath with a little tiny lizard kobold on his shoulders, starting popping shots off and shit, and they kind of think twice. And so they do pull out their little...
You gotta come out and fucking save us, dude!
I got you, Lithoria.
You gotta help
So they
us,
pull
bro.
out their laser blasters, right? And one of them shoots at you, Cash, and it just whizzes over your right shoulder. The other one shoots at you, Thump, and it hits your shoulder armor. You look down at it, see the smoking, sizzling burn, and go... It's your turn to attack.
Man, I'm gonna run over and knock the shit out of that goblin.
The one that just shot at you?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll a d20 for the attack.
I'm gonna put this actually up
I'm
here.
gonna thump the shit out of that goblin.
Yeah.
Just let everybody see.
That's why we call him Thump.
D20, you say?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll a d20.
We got
And
a
I'm going to
1.
say that you're adding 2 to your strength is what it was, right?
Yeah.
You do hit this goblin. Go ahead and roll a d12 for your... normally, let's just say he's...
5.
Oh, man.
God.
Dude,
As
you get fucked, bro.
So what happens is you, Thump, see this sizzling little
God damn it,
mark
dude.
in your shoulder armor there, and you kind of laugh it off and lock eyes with this goblin that just shot at you.
Yeah.
The other one flanks away, the one that shot at Cash, and with Cash still on your shoulders, you walk up to this one and are towering over it, 7 feet tall against this 3 foot tall thing. With one hand, you take your giant power axe, and right as this thing literally wets the ground, you vertically slice this motherfucker in half.
Fuck
And your
yeah.
axe implants into the ground. That goblin is dead.
Whoa. Did he create like an earthquake around it? Just like
No, there was
knocking everybody off their feet. He's like,
well, what you guys noticed was like there's like his power axe has like a rippling electrical kind of edge
like
on
Thor.
it. Yeah, kind of like that. So as he sliced through it, it simultaneously sliced through, cauterizes this
Fucking
goblin,
thump,
and
dude.
just creates an electrical sort of effect.
Catches everybody on fire.
Back to the top of the round with whatever your name is.
Lithoria.
My bad.
It's all good, man.
So
She's
right
so
now,
hot.
so right now, what happens is you've got a conundrum because you've got a goblin that's attacking you.
And I'm trying to bang
In close-
everybody else.
Shut the fuck out.
You've got this goblin attacking you with a little scimitar in close range, and he's actually really rapey, dude. And he's looking at you, man. His teeth. He's like, let's get you.
But Lithoria is like, yo, that tongue though.
So you've got this crossbow that you've been using, but you've also got on your side your own laser
No,
scimitar.
I've never used a crossbow. I used.
I'm sorry. The laser bow is what
Laser
I meant.
bow.
What
Yeah,
I meant.
yeah,
Sorry.
you're good.
So the scimitar, the laser scimitar on your side, you can't shoot
basically
him.
like my Bowie knife at this point, right?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
close
a little
range
bigger than
combat.
that. So you can use that to attack.
like a
Go-
hatchet,
Yep. Go ahead and roll your attack roll.
or not a hatchet,
A
a
d20.
fucking,
Close range.
what do you call
Like a
it?
short sword.
Yeah,
It's got
Short sword.
finesse, so you'll use your dexterity.
What am I
for
rolling?
this. D20.
D20. 15.
Beautiful. Go ahead and for this.
What's the highest number I can get? 20?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's a nat. That hits every time. So go ahead right now and roll a. I'm gonna say for this, roll a d8. Oh,
Six.
Jesus, bro! This guy, he's getting all up in your face.
God
all rapey,
damn it, dude.
No,
That's good.
No,
That's
that's
good.
good.
Oh, it is good?
So check this. What you do Yeah, let me explain.
I'm
Here's
just
the
like
best.
I'm just like enticing this dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, come fuck me, motherfucker.
And as he kind of
And then I'm
drops his,
about to knife him.
he kind of drops his guard for a second. He's like, yeah, and you're like, yeah, and then slices jugular open, dude, and he just and just starts bleeding black blood all over you, dude. There's one goblin.
Tell me Victoria does this.
There's one goblin left. There's one goblin left. Cash, it's your turn.
So hold on, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do I jump on top of him and stab him repeatedly afterwards, like they would do in the movies, or do I just like kind of watch him die?
Well,
and
that's
I'm like,
sort of what you tell me
peace,
that. I don't know. You tell me
Like,
what
what
do you
does
do?
Lothoria do?
Yeah,
to
what's
be honest with you,
Lothoria do?
Lothoria would probably just look at him and be like, yo, you just got fucking work, dog, and drop dead, turn around, just bail.
So this guy,
Like,
so this
fuck,
guy,
work, dog.
peace, dude.
this guy, as
Because I'm
this-
not vengeful. I mean, she's not vengeful.
this goblin, as he's dying, the last thing that he sees is just your eyes looking down at him like, "God, you should have
Dude,
chose
you
something
totally
else."
just got fucked up.
Cash, it's your turn. You're still on top of this. You're still
Okay.
on top of Thump,
So-
seeing him just vertically chop a dude
like
in
as
half.
Thump like came down with this shit, as soon as it touched the ground, it did rattle,
Mhm.
and I was just like, "Fuck!" And so I jumped off,
All right.
and I flipped over.
I'm gonna engage like
I
this
flipped
next
over the
time.
third goblin, right?
That's gonna require an acrobatics
So
check.
I wanna
my
do an
dude.
acrobatics
All right,
check.
do that. Roll a d20 for him, please. Or you got your own, right?
Yeah.
I think you're proficient in acrobatics, so go ahead and add 2 to it.
19,
Yeah, you
21.
got it. You got it.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
good.
yeah. So I flip over this last goblin.
Okay. And startling him, really. So go ahead and make your next
Startling
attack
him.
with advantage.
I was gonna say and flanking, but yes, that's
Okay.
what I was going
Okay, cool,
for.
cool.
And I'm gonna just aim to shoot him in the fucking face with my shotgun.
Fuck
Ooh.
yeah, dude.
Your shotgun, yeah.
Nat fucking 20. That's a crit, motherfucker.
Okay, so go ahead
It's a
and
double,
roll.
double
fucked
damage.
up.
Roll him. So
Yeah.
there's roll him at 4. You can see where it says the number that you can roll over there on the left. Roll 4d4.
12 plus
Okay, so
2 proficiency, 14 damage.
So you don't add your proficiency for damage, but
Right, sorry.
Anyway, what happens is though you flip over this guy, pulling your shotgun out as you do, flip around, and this goblin is just shaking from what Thump did, and turns around to look at you.
Like shell shock, kind of.
Yeah, and his face just shocked, turns to look at Cash, where Cash says,
Don't you fucking rape my elf, motherfucker.
and oh no, that one's dead though.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
fuck
okay,
that.
cool.
They're all, I assume they're all trying to rape the sexy elf.
Yeah.
You're, okay.
Me too. That's
So
my
then,
problem.
what you do is you
I split
you
that nigga
pop
in
that
half.
shotgun off, and
I'm a
what you
distraction, so
see-
y'all can just
what you
rank up
both see
fucking
is
mercs,
that-
dude.
What you both see is that where there was once a small gnome, there's like a mist cloud of green and black, and you get Thump. You
Hold
both
on,
actually
is
just
this
get
aliens?
covered with these gross entrails from this small gnome. You've
Goblin.
successfully, goblins.
I don't like gnomes
But
either,
are they goblins or are they aliens?
They're,
goblins.
they're space
They're
goblins. Space goblins.
Space
Even if
goblins.
there were. Like,
Anyway.
Yeah, you like
goblins.
like gremlins?
So the encounter
Oh,
being
they're
over.
like
With a
that.
gun.
But they're
British.
like 3 feet tall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're
small.
bigger
Big
goblins.
gremlins.
They were buff.
than gremlins.
Small.
They're big fucking gremlins.
Yeah.
So
With
the-
no hair.
The encounter being over, you guys stand amongst the carnage and the wreckage. Captain Quincy looks at all of you. You notice he didn't do shit and says, "Well, that was a great job, crew. Good job completing this training program." And the environment around you dematerializes. You find that you're in a giant, plain, blank, white room. The ship's training
It's
room.
AI.
Holodeck.
The hollow training room, essentially. And you guys had just been preparing for the next mission that you're about to go on. That's where we're going to end the session for today. Thank you guys for playing. So that's
Fuck those goblins up.
how you play
Dude.
D&D.
I thought you almost got
Yeah.
raped by a goblin.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
I
thanks
wouldn't
for
let it
saving-
happen. I wouldn't let it
Thanks for
happen.
saving me,
Got
dude.
you. Got you.
You're a real gentleman. We fucked those dudes up, dude.
Yeah, man. You guys
Not a-
actually, the thing that I realized after I did that was the goblins have an AC of 15.
Oh, dude,
And
I
with you
could
guys-
do that all the time,
You
man.
guys getting +2, that was a really shitty choice of mine to pick that, but you guys rolled
Nonetheless, it
really
helped.
good with everything, man. Really good.
Dude, you guys
We're
should
done.
come back and do another show just on Dungeons and Dragons with me.
There's a lot.
would be fun.
There's
That would
30,
be sick, dude. Come and
40
do like
years of
3.
history
We
on
should
it.
do a whole fucking game.
So that's what we do.
I have a 5 and 6 hour
Yeah.
podcast, and my most popular shows are the longer shows.
Yeah.
Everything over like 3 hours typically are the most popular shows because people keep going back to them and listening to them over and over again because they
or
either
different
miss it,
pieces of them.
different pieces.
Segments.
Yeah, like it takes a long time. So like those are the more popular shows, most downloads.
Yeah,
like,
tune in
best
from like an
feedback.
hour to whatever it was where we played Dungeons and Dragons.
That was sick,
yeah.
dude.
That's
you
what
guys
that shit is.
Fucking killed that.
And that's why we
No,
do this.
that's why
I've never
dude,
played Dungeons and Dragons before.
So what
but
you-
you keep like a you have a sheet.
You
though,
do,
You were
yeah,
saying,
yeah.
like,
It's a little more like complex than what we just did, but it's also just as simple.
Yeah.
The main important thing for me, like some people really like, they'll get the figurines out, they'll get the grid paper out, the battle board and stuff, and they'll really
the
do
problem
that
is
way.
that you played with one of my real characters who has a lot of
I know
things and bonuses and acrobatics. I'm really glad I aced that one. The funny thing is when you roll shittily, it very much
affects.
affects the story.
Very
so say I
much, yeah.
failed, like say I got a nat 1 on that acrobatics check where I did the
Yeah.
flip off of him.
He would have tripped.
I would have tripped and probably put myself prone under the goblin, where he
I would've
probably
said
could have
you-
just shot me in the face,
or you
and I would have
hit
been
him.
laying
Or put a
there.
finger in your butt.
Or put a finger in my. He could have raped me. I could have been a
Dude,
rape lizard
rape the
today.
elves, man.
But
And
because
you
I
know what,
rolled
though?
good enough,
I would have fucking taken one for the team though if it meant not you getting raped.
Stick
It
your booty out
really
there
sounds
for
like
him.
Lothario
I
wanted it.
would have
Kinda, yeah.
thrown that
Alright,
little
alright,
blonde
alright,
chick out
alright.
there.
Come on, man. Fuck.
Take one for the team.
Enough,
dog.
enough of that shit. Anyway, enough.
It's like you're damaging the concept.
D&D.
The cool thing about D&D,
Lothario
no,
thirsty.
the cool thing about D&D is that you can be whoever you want to be, do whatever you want to do, and there's no way to win. I mean, that encounter, you guys won it, but that's just because I presented a lose-win scenario. The whole point of D&D is the same point of collective storytelling around a campfire.
Yeah, and
you guys are just
it's you being
weaving
you're
a narrative
super creative,
together.
dude.
Exactly,
Yeah, it's very
that's all it
creative,
is.
man. I actually had friends when I was in junior high in high school. Some of my friends, they're like, you know, very early adopters of World of Warcraft. But they had like they played D&D, but they had the actual battlefields.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they
yeah. Some
hand
people-
painted
some
like their
people do that,
characters
yeah.
and shit.
So he's
and
got
that's why I
battle
asked.
maps.
Yeah, and that's why I asked if like you had your own like if you
Yeah.
created because they like paint. They had like 3
So,
or 4 giant fucking
when
tables.
it started,
dude.
that wasn't how it was. It was just meant to be a pencil and paper game.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was meant to be. I can't say what Gary Gygax's intentions were because I don't know. But what I know is the beauty.
He was a map drawer.
The beauty of the game is that you don't need those things. You can do what we just did.
That was honestly, man. That's probably one of the coolest fucking parts of a podcast I've ever done in my entire life.
if
and
anybody,
I've
if
done
anybody wants to know what D&D is,
hundreds,
that's it. That's
like-
it, really.
I've done hundreds and hundreds of shows. I've probably done another 50 that I never published. I probably took down 20 or 30 of them, and I've got at least 180 up right now.
Right.
You know, so like, to be completely honest with you, man, that was probably one of the more like
Even had the
interesting.
fucking fighting music.
You
in the
gotta
back.
have
Yeah, it was
music, dude.
sick,
The music-
man.
the
That was
music
sick,
gets you
dude.
in it, man.
Well,
it really does.
like we were talking earlier, I'm fucking geeky, bro. Like I was a computer science major, dude. You want to hear how geeky I am? I hacked my Nintendo Wii controller when I went to Boise State. I hacked my Nintendo Wii controller. I set up 2 candles to reflect
the IR.
the infrared.
Yeah.
And I turned it into a mouse on my computer, and I just sent out a Bluetooth signal, connected it to my controller, and I remapped it, and I created its own input. So like I could literally I could play like Nintendo 64 games on my emulator on my laptop with my Nintendo Wii controller as long as I wrote the code to like correctly like reflect the positioning of like the movement and shit like that.
Right.
So that's a miniature of one of the characters that I had. His name was Algernon.
Oh,
he had
that's
a
sick.
familiar, which is an owl. It means a pet or animal that you have
Animal.
Animal
human.
companion.
companion. Yeah.
Yep.
And so
And you can use that in your roles.
Yeah.
So I have actions for my owl that he can do as well, like
And
scout
the owl-
ahead,
the
pick
owl
up
can
things
die?
for me. He
Like,
can
the
die.
owl did
He did
die,
die,
yeah.
actually, unfortunately.
So in our,
lost
So
an
you
owl?
can't use your
Well,
owl
yeah.
anymore?
He brought
It's
it-
like
no,
done
no,
in your
yeah.
storyline.
he
he
revived
died.
it.
Do you
He
guys
revived
keep
it.
a storyline going?
Yeah.
So
So it's
our-
a continuous.
Can I be introduced and geek with you guys?
Yeah.
So well,
I'm joining too. As well.
Our-
Dude, this is fucking cool,
the
man.
thing about
Yeah.
the way we do it is our home campaign.
I'm surprised I never got into this, dude, because
Dude, it's
I'm
so-
That's
so
what I was
fucking
saying, dude.
geeky, man.
That's what I was saying. dude.
D&D is getting really popular again because of people like Matt Mercer and the NADPOD podcast and just all these things. But the way that we do it is we've got a
Matt
world.
Colville too. Do you watch his videos?
I don't, but I've heard a lot of great stuff from
about
you
Matt
and
Colville?
from.
What about Warhammer?
That's
Are you
So there's like
Warhammer
Warhammer, there's
fans?
Pathfinder,
Okay,
there's
Warhammer.
other.
They're all like the same style, just different
no.
worlds.
Warhammer and Warhammer 40K is just battle. It's not role playing. It's those are tabletop miniature battles, which are also dope. Shout out to anybody that plays Tyranids or Necrons.
They're just a turn-based battle
Uh-huh.
game.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
So what we just did, it's the same thing, but what we did is only one component of what D&D is. There's also when we started out, introduce yourself, interact with one another in character.
Yeah.
You present plot hooks, you present stories. They publish like we've run through a couple crazy published modules is what they're called, but we've also created this world called Myth and Lore where all of our characters reside and the events that happen in that world sometimes interact with one another. Lodestone Crystal in that world is like the MacGuffin for everything, and so that shows up in a lot of the campaign settings that we do. But there's also like Greyhawk, or the one that people are using right now, or that 5e uses that they're using for D&D is the Forgotten Realms. So there's like there are made up. You can either make up your own world for people to live in if you want to, or you can use published material. We went ahead and just like I made up a map on a way down to EDC one year and was like, "This is my world. Where do you guys want to be from?
Yep.
This is a desert. This is not. This is
But that's also the other thing too, is like they have those campaigns, like for instance, the Tomb of Annihilation.
Yep.
It exists as a dungeon that you go into. There's things that happen to it. And
There's events and stuff.
Always changing?
Yeah,
no,
but
it stays the same.
okay.
But based on the places the choices make, it's modular. It's modular, I should say. So it's like
choices make certain, or players make certain decisions, and things
there's
happen.
like think about just
But
a
if we
decision
wanted
tree.
to,
Essentially, that's all it really is.
we are currently part of a larger campaign, like you said, in Myth and Lore. So, for instance, if we decided that in Myth and Lore, we decided that for the sake of some mission, we needed to go to this place that was the Tomb of Annihilation, he could just pull out a module and run us through it in his world.
Yeah, you reskin it essentially.
You reskin it.
Yeah. Okay,
And so
you reset in that new location, kind of like in a video game.
Exactly.
Like you go there and you're gonna have new, like your life is gonna be all the way. Well, maybe not all the
But
time.
and that's the thing is like the
Well,
treasure.
Old school fucking
You
back
get
in
to
the
And the
day.
treasures
That's
that we
the thing. You just
find,
decide
yeah.
whatever you
for
want.
instance, he said lodestone is a very valuable component to this world that he created. It's a thing. It's an energy, like an energon source, right?
It's just
so
like
instead
energon,
Of, yeah.
right?
So
And
instead
the-
of treasure, we might find lodestone.
Yeah.
He would reskin it in that sense.
Yeah, no, that's
And
not
that's-
that's
and
not a
that's-
D&D thing. That's just a my world, our
Yeah.
world
Yes,
thing.
and that's based on the. What was your title again on the last one? Like you were the narrator.
Oh,
on,
the
on
dungeon master.
The
DM,
dungeon master,
DM,
yes.
yeah. Or game master if you're not
or the
playing
game
GM,
master.
Yeah, D&D.
So you're able to actually set the rules and set the location, and you kind of you guide the story, and this is all off the
you're
top
like,
of your
you're
head.
like the referee. Sometimes it's off the top of your head. Sometimes it's not.
Can you
It's
look
just
it
like-
up? I'm sure that they have like stories online where you
Yeah,
can, like,
yeah,
just
that,
look it up.
exactly. Like
Yes.
that's the modules that I'm talking about.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
So those are
yeah, it's
ones
like
that,
storylines that you
yeah,
work
exactly.
with. Yes.
Or you can just do your own. For the longest time, we were just doing our own. We started doing Out of the Abyss, which was cool.
Yep.
I'm-
And he would prepare for those sessions. So
Yeah.
you have to prepare like, okay, if they go left, they're gonna see these things, fight these creatures. I have to come up with their creatures' ACs, all of their
I
advantages.
just
There's a-
what they
figure
do.
out
there's a
what
monster
are-
manual.
how
Yeah.
to counter
If
that.
they
movement.
go right, this is what they do. And the funny thing was, is for the first couple sessions when I played,
and it's
my
based
whole
on the
goal-
roll of the die. At that
Uh-huh.
point.
Yeah,
all of it is
well, that was
really-
the thing. That was like when I first started playing, I wanted to beat the DM. I wanted to fuck him up so much where I was like, I'm gonna do some shit that you're not expecting. And there was so many times where like the number one rule of D&D is don't split the campaign. No matter what the decision is, don't split the group. Never split the group. It's always a bad idea.
Don't split the party.
Don't split the party.
Like don't let. It's like horror movie rules. Don't go off on your
Okay.
own.
Yeah.
Don't go off on your
Yeah.
own, or you're gonna die.
And I
Don't
would
go to the
basically-
one dude in the middle of nowhere who's got a chainsaw and shit.
And I would do that. I'd be like, I do that one thing he's not expecting. He's like, okay, if you do, you die. Fine, I don't fucking do it.
and then you just
Okay.
gamble.
Whoa,
Oh, yeah. I was
whoa.
gonna say
No,
you
like
just
'cause I
gamble and
wouldn't do it
roll.
because it'd
or
be
what?
like basically if you die, you're out of the campaign, so you have to sit and watch everybody.
Well, okay. So a good example of how that of
until they finish the campaign.
sometimes you finish, sometimes you just play for a year and a half and don't ever
No
finish.
way, and you never get back into the game.
It's just an ever evolving.
Can you
story.
ever be
There's
resurrected?
there's no end,
so that's
really.
the other thing. Is
yeah, are there like resurrection points? Or what the fuck?
if I die,
Revivify
The
is a
resurrection
spell.
spell.
Yeah.
No, for real. There's a
There are
spell
re-
where you can bring the soul back from the dead.
so there are
Nice.
spells, but if people don't know them, and
But you
die,
have to have them in your group, though, right?
Well, that's the thing, though, is if I would die based off of really shitty things that I did, he would be like, okay, you're dead. You can roll a new character if you want to keep playing in this campaign.
You start over.
But you have to start over.
Yeah.
You have to play somebody else. And I swear to God, if you fucking do that again, I'm going to fucking murder you.
well, okay,
and
no.
he's the DM,
Gotcha.
so you want to appease the DM. You don't want to fight the DM
No.
because he can kill you at any time.
So
Yeah.
that's
a worm comes out of nowhere and eats your fucking ass. Like,
That's an extreme
oh, shit,
example.
I pissed off the DM.
That's no. That's an extreme example. When we very first started,
it hasn't happened yet.
I was railroading the crew. They had to go through this desert where if they wandered off on their own, they had a guide.
Yeah.
And there's no way for them to survive it because the nature of this desert was that there's all these warp portals and it was called the Deadly Sands, and like the material plane in there actually shifted around based on my storyline. And being a novice DM, I didn't really account for like what if these guys did just want to go wander off on their own. And so, a lot of DMs would be like, okay, you can go do that. You need to roll for it. And if you rolled incredibly, somehow you would do it. For me, because I was railroading you and because I was novice, that was my, oh, well, then you die. You know what I mean? I guess that's just what happens.
Yeah.
A
But
good
that's the thing, though,
DM,
is I was brand new.
we were both brand new.
Yeah.
Really. Like,
But that was the thing, though, is you set a good DM. We've played with, so in this group that we have, we've kind of forked off from storylines and had different DMs play different storylines.
all in the same world, but
Yeah, and so with that, I've got to see, and then studying Dungeons and Dragons, just so that he's like, we're going to do a podcast. I'm like, I should probably learn a lot more about this if we're going to actually do it, like record it and make it legit. I should know more things. So I started listening to more D&D podcasts and things like that. And Andy is still one of the better DMs that I've had because of how he moves the story along.
That was a good dude. You did a really fucking awesome job.
Thank you.
man.
Description.
Yeah, you seem like you very well, almost
And that was
scripted.
exactly, and
yeah,
that was all
it was
improv.
pretty fucking good.
I can probably say the only thing that he looked up was the stats for a goblin.
yep.
Yeah, that was probably it. Everything else he just made up off the hand. And the funny thing was, because that actually is in a world that our current campaign is, I knew things about the ship that you guys didn't know. I knew things about myself that you guys didn't know. Like,
Right.
for instance, I had grenades, but I was like, well, if I use those, that's whatever. This is just to get
This
an
is an
example.
this is a
so I was like,
tutorial.
yeah,
That's
and I
all
was like,
this is.
We're playing one round.
well, plus we leveled up in the last round, so I got this new feature called
Dude,
Alert.
can I help you level up?
Yeah.
we helped you level up.
I-
Fucking
so-
thump, dude.
I took a
Dropping
got you,
battle
Latoria.
axes and shit,
Got you,
dog.
Latoria.
Fuck yeah.
So we
I'll
leveled
bang
up
you
to level
later,
4.
dog.
dude, the Goliath and the elf just going at
Just
it.
going at it. Can
That
you imagine
sounds
what that baby would look
terrifying.
like?
Sounds
This
like a
little
sexy
tiny,
time.
Cash
this
is just
little
drawing
tiny
it.
human with a
Just trying-
giant fucking head.
sketching it so he can jack off to it later.
comes
But they
out
both
as
have
Mike
wings and
Tyson,
snouts
dude.
like dragons.
It's got this giant
Like, he
fucking,
crosses
like this giant head, and it's like super buffed, and
So-
it's like 5 feet tall.
What Axe just mentioned is that the number one rule, and he was speaking when you're playing and thinking about what your character does, and in game, the number one rule for your character is don't split the party. But the number one real rule, in my opinion, of D&D is have a good time, because there is no way to the story doesn't end. You can just keep going.
Dude, you could
and,
totally
and
just go for hours.
If
dude.
somebody dies,
I could have
there-
just kept going, man.
if
That
someone
was fun.
dies, there are spells that can revive them.
Yeah.
They're expensive, and so maybe these guys would have to go on a quest to be able to revive your
Yeah.
body. You
So
know what
the-
I mean?
And that's
Yeah.
the crazy thing is the podcast that I love listening to, Nad Pod. I'm going to ruin the last probably 10 episodes by telling some story shit. But
Hold up. Spoiler warning, everybody.
if you don't watch Nad Pod, you fucked right now.
I don't,
So
but I'll
one of the
subscribe.
characters, so they all had to go in and talk to these vampires. And these vampires basically is like the Al Capone of vampires. Like, you're in his lair, you're talking to him. And one of them basically insults the vampire, slaps him, and they fight. So you're in an enemy's territory fighting a bad guy.
Lair, legendary actions.
You are
In their environment.
You are
They
overrun
get-
by bad guys.
Certain enemies get bonuses based on that.
The best goal
Via the monster manual is
the
what it's
best
called.
goal was to talk yourself out of the situation. They didn't. and the repercussions is one of them got turned into a vampire.
That's par for the course for this particular D&D podcast.
Totally.
Those characters do that all the time.
They fucked it up. One of the characters got bit by a vampire, and so now he has vampirism, which means he's controlled by another vampire. Also, he needs to drink blood to survive. And that is now part of his character, is he has to deal with those repercussions. And so eventually they kill the vampire who controls him, and then they have to find a cure for his vampirism, so he's not trying to eat the rest of the party because the DM says roll for Constitution every so often.
He's got to make a save,
and he rolls. If he rolls poorly, he's hungry for his friends.
And he's just
got to role play it. He's got to play it out. He's got to play like that's what's happening.
There are real repercussions, but this is like 70 episodes long of the same characters. They've gone through numerous story arcs. They've gone through numerous stories. They've completed missions, and then someone else comes up to them and says, "Hey, thank you so much for doing this. Can you come to our town and do the same thing?" And they're like, "Well, okay. Well, fuck it, we'll do it." And they decide they do it, or they take a side mission.
And they join the party or whatever.
And they do, and so they have guests come on.
Yep.
They have numerous, and they're all improv comedians.
Dude, I would totally produce a D&D show for you guys.
It
would be tight, man.
Fun.
It's
hysterical.
I know you guys
D&D
are going
stuff
through
so
this,
dope.
people, but I'd do it for free.
But it's hysterical. It's hysterical.
As long as I'm Lithoria.
Right.
Yeah, just let me be Lithoria.
Dude,
let me just shoot
a buddy of mine,
shoot people, and bang.
He's playing it.
Laser crossbow.
He's playing in another campaign, and he plays a female elf, and she's got these huge old titties, just sexy as fuck. And there's one of her stats that you can boost essentially over how many levels you go up is charisma.
Yeah, total.
So you can
exactly.
you can persuade people.
Yeah,
So it's like
it calms them so you can kill them quicker. So if you
but that's
there's a strategy.
Sometimes he
to
doesn't
it.
need, like, he's pretty shit at fighting. She technically is pretty shit at fighting. So it's like she is
so she can slow him down with having charisma and
no.
chilling him out.
She can talk them into doing things.
Yeah.
Hey,
Stuff like
give me your
them,
fucking money.
Deceive them.
Roll
Don't
a charisma.
kill me, just
roll
give
a
me-
persuasion check.
Oh,
You roll it.
whoa.
Oh, I got a 8. But you have a plus 15 to your persuasion.
There's just
And
some
there's
about you
certain
that
23.
Some about you that charms them. They just do it.
And they do what you tell them.
So do you pick up like a personality, or
You
how
just
does
pick
it
up.
work?
So when you
Each
level up,
character has a different personality. Like, you have to set your personality for
and
your
there's certain
character.
standard personalities that have like
No,
a general.
No,
but when you level
So
up,
how do
there's
you
certain
know
things that you can
they've
do.
got
So you can-
charisma?
So that's
through
an
the level
ability
up.
modifier. So when you
Gotcha.
level up, you can add more to your ability modifiers.
Let me explain.
Sneaking,
There's
thieving.
That's not your ability modifier.
persuasion.
Those are your skills.
skills.
Yeah.
But just the basics of it is this: there's strength, constitution, dexterity, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. There's 6 of these attributes that every character has.
And you just balance them on whenever you level up. It's like a fucking RPG.
It's
you just
it's
you
the
get
basis,
so many points
D&D
per level
is
up,
the basis
and you
of
just
every RPG you've ever played.
And you just balance out. You just put certain points with every level up.
Maybe,
you get so many
not
points,
necessarily.
and you just
So there's
advance each.
It depends on how you play.
attribute?
Depends on what you want to do more.
Some people like to number crunch. They like to. It's called min maxing, and what they'll do is they'll just put their skill points into their most important attributes. But what's more fun to do, in my opinion, is you create a character that has really high good shit, and like maybe he's got really low intelligence. So he's like a barbarian that's fucking strong, but when the wizard comes around and tries to I guess that might be wisdom, but either way, tries to charm him and is like, "Hey, turn on your friends." He's like
super gullible. He's like,
Exactly.
"Yeah, man."
Well,
I'll fucking do
so
that."
check this out.
To me,
My-
it's no
But
fun
that
if
was,
you don't,
like, way more
if you don't
eloquent
have
than
if you don't have a
fucking idiot.
weakness,
Yeah.
then what fun is it?
The tragic flaw really makes the characters. Like, for instance, my
and it's balancing parties, right? to match
my
those
kobolds-
fucking you've got to create a team.
my kobold, he's like a 3-foot lizard, and he's got like a +6 to deception and a +6 to persuasion. So he's a charming motherfucker. He's got a -2 to strength.
Yeah, he's weak.
Like, so if you ask him to like open a door or push something open or lift something, he's gonna be like, I'm gonna find a way around this, so I don't actually have to do it.
Yeah,
'Cause
give me
if
a
you ask
crowbar.
yeah, like he'll think his way around it, but if you ask him to like do something heavy,
Whereas
or
thumb-
even
That's
if
so
I got
in-depth.
if I got in a fist fight with somebody, like you punch him, like, well, -2 to strength, like that's hand-to-hand combat,
Yeah.
so I have to like roll a d20 and subtract 2 because I'm fucking weak.
Even
I
if
see
you
what
do
you're saying.
hit him, it didn't do shit.
Yeah, so
whereas
he's just
Thump-
like, oh, cool, you slapped him, and he
Thump character
laughs at you.
that we created just now, maybe he's got a little lower intelligence, nothing against Zero, but Thump, the character, is just more of a hitter. He's a tank.
Yeah, he's
And so
just
when you say, hey,
there.
open the door, he swings his axe at it and busts it open. whatever. I keep
Lothoria.
Lothoria.
I keep wanting to call her Lothlorian for some reason.
Dude,
I don't know what that's
honestly,
from.
man,
She's from
I
the
forgot
planet
her name like 3
Lothoria?
times.
Yeah, right.
So she's a Lothlorian,
So now
but her
But
name is
Lothoria-
she's
Lothoria.
not stacked though, dudes.
But-
She's not stacked. She doesn't
No.
have big tits. I'm sorry.
Lothoria has a high
She's like
dexterity.
running a
No,
B-32.
she's effective. Yeah, that's fine.
Because she's got high dexterity, her way around the door instead of
She's an athlete.
trying to find a crowbar or busting it open would be to pick the lock. Because she's got nimble
Yeah,
fingers.
she's intuitive.
She's got really fine motor control. You know,
Yeah.
shooting a bow and doing all
Totally.
that stuff. So that's kind of what you put your points into is how you handle situations in the story, essentially.
Dude, that's sick.
And knowing what your other players'
Can do.
proficiencies are, like if I know I'm not strong at something, but there's something that heavy needs to be lifted, I'm gonna look to the fucking Goliath and be like, "Yo, homie,
Yeah.
help me out, bro."
Yeah, let's go.
But if you don't have a
Gotcha,
Goliath
G.
in your fucking team, you're
then you
stuck,
say let's
right?
all or
turn
let's,
around
let's
and
all
we'll
try
find
and
another route.
We
you
either-
can all try and do it and still roll. Maybe you get a nat 20 and something miraculous happens. You know, like
And
'Cause
you're able
and
to
that's the
fucking
thing.
just run through it, just holding hands.
It was actually really funny.
right,
There's,
maybe like
there's another podcast I listen to called "You Rolled a 1," and it's more of a Pathfinder. There's a different set of rules for D&D.
it's the
5e.
same concept. You don't have to get into that really though.
But yeah, so they it was hysterical because there was like a fox person and he's like really small, and they were on a ship, 2 barge doors are open and there's a monster inside trying to come out, so they have to close the doors essentially to keep this thing in.
Yeah.
And so a tiny little fox person on this side rolls a nat 20. And he's like, you surprisingly as fuck just fucking jump up and launch that thing closed. The barbarian half orc on the other side, who the biggest, strongest person in the fucking party, she rolls a 2.
Right.
And he's like, you are really trying, but you just can't fucking close this door. And so the fox comes over there. Okay, the fox helps you, and you get advantage. You get to roll another one. Okay, so she rolls again. She rolls like a 7. And it's like, you still can't fucking close this. So depending on how you roll, depends on what you do.
Even
Yeah.
if you should be able to do
Yeah,
it.
so it's like, okay, more people in the party come over. We all help her close the door.
Right,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm not going to make you roll for that because 4 people are closing this fucking door. You fucking close the door. It's fine.
Right.
So it was fucking hysterical. That was like the tiny little fucking thing could. Big motherfucker couldn't based on rolls.
Just on the roll. That
the
is
roll.
crazy, dude.
really fun.
Yeah.
That's
No,
what
that's
makes
the
it fun.
excitement of it, though.
And that's what helps develop your characters along the way, too. It's like those embarrassing moments. You pretend like they didn't happen, but the party knows it happened. You know, like, I'm the sniper with a bow, and I can fucking kill anything, and I have a plus 15 to hit. But if you roll a nat 1, you still don't fucking hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a fly right as you're about to pull the trigger, a fucking bee lands on your nose and stings you.
Yeah.
It's just you gotta the DM has to find a way to describe it that makes sense.
Yeah.
As to okay, something really unlucky just happened, like you rolling a 5% chance of getting a 1.
Yeah.
And there's a 5% chance in life that a bee is gonna fucking sting you anytime. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like we're not talking hard numbers here, but that an anvil's gonna fall on your head out of a window.
Yeah,
or a
yeah,
piano's
yeah.
gonna fall on your head. You know, it's just shit
Yeah.
like that. And that's where
All of a sudden, you're about to pull the bow, and you have to sneeze. You
Yeah,
sneeze,
exactly,
Miss
exactly.
wildly, and it's just like, what the fuck
snaps
you
back
doing?
in your face.
Yeah. Because I've done that. You can trip. If you get a critical fail, roll a 1 in certain scenarios, you can fall
damage
and you
yourself.
can hurt yourself.
Yeah.
You can take damage, which means lowering your HP,
we'll
which you
get into
don't want to do.
we'll
in
get into
battle.
this on tour. Don't worry
Yeah,
about
It
it.
doesn't
Oh,
kill
shit's
you,
gonna be
though, so you're
crazy.
still
No,
alive at that
but
point.
sometimes if you roll a critical fail, depending on the DM, you can be knocked prone, which means you have to roll to get back up.
Well,
so while you're knocked
that's-
prone, someone else can roll against you essentially with advantage.
The
Gotcha.
rules of prone. That's essentially it. Yeah, when you're prone, like if someone attacks you, they are gonna hit you and deal a critical hit if they hit you. Like you're.
Good amount of damage. For
However, if you're prone and somebody's shooting at you, you actually have 3/4 cover because it's harder to hit somebody that's on the ground.
sure. Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yeah, did you know that?
Well,
Or maybe it's
pretty intense.
maybe it's half
The
the
science is power.
So much into this that I had no idea.
There are 3. There's like a rule book. It's called the Player's Handbook. That's where everything's detailed, and it's really not that long.
It's pretty
PHP.
fucking detailed, though.
It kind of is, but
Yeah,
like,
you're
once you
blowing my
play it,
fucking
it's-
mind, dog.
It's really natural once you get into it. Like,
Lothario is like, what the fuck?
but that's the thing. It comes down
Say
to just rolling, and so the DM has the
Lothario
discretion.
have like a black woman.
Probably. I don't know. She's a
Say
minority
what?
elf.
she's an EOC. elf of color.
Oh my god,
Dude, she's a crick
color.
elf. She's a crick elf.
Crick elf is good.
That's a
That's
gangster
pretty
ass
fucking
elf
good,
right
dude.
there, though.
EOC.
Like when I think of thumb,
Yo,
I
she's
just
straight
think,
shanking people, dude.
Right,
Just
yeah.
like
When I think
No
of Thump, I think
regard,
of
bro.
a
Just
tall
looking
version
at
of
him as
the
a
fucking
guy.
the guy from Lord of the Rings, the fucking
Legolas.
Yes, yeah. No, wait.
He's the elf.
Oh, is he the okay.
Thump's got to be bald if he's a Goliath though.
Damn,
Straight
that
bald, no beard hair at all. That's the thing about
More like God of War.
Yeah, he'd look like
Yo,
Kratos. He would look.
okay, I
he would look
respect.
almost.
Damn, thank you, man.
But
Yeah,
think
no,
of
yeah,
Kratos,
Kratos
as
is
a
solid for-
7 foot like behemoth of a Kratos.
But then I'm kind of like, oh,
Well, I mean, I was just using an example there. Naturally,
But you
what
got a battle axe that's fucking like electrocuting motherfuckers.
yeah, that's
crazy
cool.
as
You're
hell.
not an ogre, you're a giant. It's totally different. Yeah,
Yeah, we're
ogres
not
are the
really
like
concerned.
retards.
Is he right brain or left brain? Like, no, he just
No.
splits right brain and
Yeah.
left
Word.
brain.
You're
you know
just
what
a
I'm saying?
big fucking dude.
He's
I'm
hella
tall,
right
bro.
brain, dude. He splits bodies in half and paints beautiful pictures with their
and
blood.
then does a back, and does
There
does
you go.
backflips.
Lothoria.
He's like a weird, yeah, like he's got a weird. I like
so
that.
would be trying to seduce the elf. You can roll for
But
that.
see that right
Oh,
there.
shit.
But no. But you.
That's
the
a thing.
simple
I'm
fact
about to
is,
take those panties.
The simple fact is, like, when you come up with like little character attributes like that build the world and everybody gets entertained by it, that's a huge component of D&D.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
It's just like it's a very much yes and, you know what I mean? It's like
You have to kind of match your strengths with everybody.
But not even that. You just
no,
build,
it's just you bullshit,
build on
man.
character
Yeah,
flaws.
you just
Oh,
talk
yeah, there
like
you go.
you talk as your character and what would make sense as your character in this world, and
You have to have the numbers to back it up, though, right? Like you have
Well,
to have
if
like you
you're-
have to, yeah.
that's if
And
you're
that's
in
part
if
of the
you're in
character.
or you just
combat,
talk
like,
mad shit.
Yeah, you can do that.
I
You
love
can
the
do
characters
that.
that talk mad shit and they
And
come
then
up and they're
negative
like they
two
roll
strength.
a run and they're just
Yeah.
like and I miss and it's like
And I'm
we didn't see
dead.
it. It's fine. You got this, buddy. We got you, man. Like you
Yeah.
can do it. You know, like the rest of the
Team
party.
effort.
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Krillin.
It's a team effort.
Yeah,
like,
right.
but don't tell me.
Yeah, dude.
You know.
You know what entertains me about you just said the Krillin. I got onto it was like it was on Reddit, but it came from 4chan, and it was like people getting into a mortal fight about whether Goku or I don't remember his name from One Punch Man.
Fuck, I forgot his name too. I know what you're
but
talking about.
anyway, whether
Sorry,
or not
Tama.
Oh, Zero's talking. What's up, dude? I forgot you were here.
So that's it. Fucking talking dick.
anime, his ears perk up. Like, oh yeah, what?
Anime?
Yeah, I know.
So there are people that'll get into these battles about like they're not even in the same like
Universe.
yeah, like it's not the same intellectual property at all. They don't follow the same
Right,
rules.
right.
The
Dude.
universe doesn't, and people will fight about who would win.
The Goku
Oh,
and
the same
Superman
thing.
video.
Yeah.
You seen that one?
Yeah.
That was dope as hell.
There's actually two. There's one where Goku wins, and then there's one where Superman wins.
I only watched the one where Goku won, and I believe that.
Hold
shit.
on.
Don't get me
It's
wrong,
like a
like, I
legit
think
like
it's cool, but-
Superman versus Goku.
Yeah,
no, that's
it's
a difference.
video.
There's a difference between media, somebody making something for entertainment, and fucking
people legit
nerds getting angry at
Sounds
each
like
other.
literally
crazy.
making posts about it and like fucking
Getting
like little
emotional.
You
websites. and
idiot!
shit.
His power level's over 9,000.
Are you fucking serious? He
Compared
can,
to, like,
he
Superman.
can sneeze and destroy the galaxy.
Yeah,
what
like-
do you mean?
Think about when he turned into Molecule Vegeta and then came back after that. That totally proves. You know what I mean? Like they do that.
What
Like,
are they basing those numbers on?
Nothing.
Majin
Episode.
It's just
Vegeta, by
they
the way.
just what?
Fandom.
It's Majin Vegeta.
What
by
the
way.
fuck ever? I don't watch. I don't
Molecule.
watch.
It's just based off fandom.
I love
Yeah.
Superman though.
Yeah.
Like I was a big Superman fan growing up. Yeah.
I'm a Marvel guy.
Yeah.
Superman was
I'm-
just the Unbreakable, which I don't like. Like if they don't have, if someone's perfect
He
and they don't
died,
have,
dude.
I get it. I get
Damn,
it.
that
Like
motherfucker came back.
I'm talking
Fucking
about.
Superman, dude.
I'm talking about before Superman.
dude.
Before Superman went through the whole like, what was the video game that came out? Not Infamous. It's
Injustice.
yeah, before that whole storyline with like evil Superman and like
yeah,
they
which
start
I like.
and
He
also
was cool.
introducing like the idea that Batman can beat Superman, which to me that's
It's
mad.
bullshit.
No, it's not. That's why that's the only thing that makes me believe the DC universe is because if Superman exists and nobody can beat him, then what's the fun in fucking watching Superman?
Well, I don't think Batman should beat him. He's not a superhuman. He
Kryptonite,
has just
bro.
like lots of money.
But that's the thing is,
he has
don't-
no superpowers.
He's super smart.
Yeah, I say
He's
don't.
super rich.
He's super smart and super rich.
Super rich.
And so like that
He
to
is
me
pretty smart.
To me, what
I mean,
that
he's fucking
says
smart, yeah.
narratively is that even though somebody else is the superior being physically in that they came from another planet,
Lex Luthor could have killed him. Just throw some kryptonite on that motherfucker.
the
That's all I did.
and
That's
the
all he
same
did.
the
Fucking
same
killed
thing
him.
with Batman. The whole thing is that a normal human with enough resources and mental capacity can beat the best thing in the world. And that to me is a great lesson. That's what I like. Like
I wonder how Batman would get your good. I wonder how
about that.
Batman would get kryptonite. It's all in the same universe, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
get it from when Krypton was destroyed. There were like shards and asteroids and shit that hit our planet.
They also hit
Oh,
other
that's right.
moons,
Which is
too.
where like
So there
fucking
was-
Lex Luthor got it in Batman Returns, right? No, and just I'm sorry,
not
Superman.
Returns,
Batman
yeah.
versus
Superman.
It's a
But-
kryptonite meteorite
if
or
you,
something like that.
if you
Yeah.
watch the comics, it's actually Lex Luthor who has a space station, and he goes to numerous different moons to find Krypton on all these
Like
other shattered,
fragments and
yeah.
shit?
And it's
That's-
been so he actually explores space to get it, and then
Oh, that's where Superman in space comes from, right? Because there's a Superman. There's like a dude. Hold on. There's literally like a Superman, like a space Superman. Bro.
Oh yeah,
I'm
well,
not
I mean,
even fucking
if
with
that
you.
back in the '80s when Marvel started doing their like what everything that's on screen now, like Thor
I have
Ragnarok,
this fucking.
all
I
of
have
the-
this. I actually have the fucking comic in there.
all of the '80s stuff that was like super space, the Infinity Gauntlet. Every time, like they were competing directly with DC, so you'll see that their comics followed a lot of the same strains.
Yeah,
Same-
DC
same-
had the
same shit.
boxes.
the funny thing is when it was around 3rd or 4th grade. I used to ride my bike and go dumpster diving down at the BFI Center.
Yeah,
That was like down Glenwood Hill. That was like around the corner from my mom's house.
Yeah, you're just gonna
one
see
right
him
here.
turning the Earth
This
around
guy.
as he's
Yeah.
spinning it.
Yeah,
This
he-
was
he
him.
turns
This
back
was like
time.
the space Superman.
That
that
was
was
no,
after
that's-
Joker. That was
that's
after
in-
Joker.
is that
right?
killed
Am I
Lois
right?
Lane. No,
That's Injustice. Yeah, that's where
He
after
gets
Lois
dark,
Lane
dude.
after Lois
Yeah.
Lane dies,
Yep.
he gets
Joker
up on
kills
humanity.
Lois Lane.
Okay.
Yeah, it gets fucking
That's,
gnarly.
okay, so I am on the same storyline. I
You
understand
should
what
you should
guys are
look
talking
up
about.
how Joker
Dude,
kills Lois Lane.
Superman's cool and whatever, but like Batman is the GOAT for real.
No,
like
Batman's a bitch.
have you ever seen, dude? Did you ever see?
dude.
Did you ever see?
I mean, he hangs out with Robin, dude.
Justice League
That
War?
guy's
Right.
fucking-
Dude.
That's kind
Justice League War.
That guy's a weirdo.
Yes or no? You seen
No,
it?
no, I haven't seen it.
Justice League War shows Superman. The only reason that the entire Justice League gets fucked is because Batman, who has a contingency plan for everything, knows everybody's weaknesses and has it in a database, and he gets hacked. And so Batman's plans to destroy the Justice League, if they ever turned on him, are basically used against the Justice League.
Yeah.
Which is the only way they can get to the Justice League,
Right.
dude. Batman's the shit.
Anyway,
He trusts no one.
Trust no one.
He is the OG, bro. Like,
Nah.
you can say what you want, man.
He ain't
I'm
no
ride or-
Tony Stark.
Fucking
Ride or
He
die,
ain't no Tony
dude.
Stark.
Bruce Wayne. But he is Tony Stark. He's literally the exact same
Bro,
person.
Tony
but-
Stark
Yo.
is way better.
But it's-
Pretty sure Letheria
He
would
ain't no
like
RDJ.
persuade Batman
He
and
ain't no
bang
Robert
him,
Downey.
and then she'd fucking knife his ass and steal his money, and then she'd fucking run Gotham. She'd run everything.
Batman
She'd be in charge
ain't
of
never
everything.
run into no elves before. I'm
No,
just saying.
dude. And
Lotharia.
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 Lotharia. I don't even know my own character's name.
Lotharia. I think.
Lotharia.
That's usually why we have a sheet to like
yeah.
contain all the info.
Yeah.
But yo, quick question. I got to split here soon, so I don't want to
Yeah.
stop this for you guys if you guys are still going. But
I mean,
do
we could
gotta-
wrap up.
Yeah.
If
Let's just wrap up, man. It's
Okay,
Two
okay.
2 hours, 15 minutes. Dude, we've had a great fucking conversation.
We played some
We can
D&D.
have you guys come back, played some D&D, talked a lot about some great hip hop.
That was my D&D bubble. D&D.
Introduction,
Talked about
right?
some
Yeah.
business,
Shoot.
some fucking Superman versus Batman. Fucking Superman's
Marvel's
on
way
top,
better.
dude. What? Get out of town.
I didn't
dude.
say that.
Who said that? Who
So-
the fuck said that?
So honestly, though, to finish this quick story though, is I went dumpster diving.
Quick
Anyway,
story,
this comic book store went out of business, and so
Actually,
these
the long-winded
huge,
dude.
like 15 feet high, 10 feet wide, 20 feet long bins, blue recycle bins, were full
They're
of
just comic
comics.
books, yeah.
And so I went down there with my fucking red flyer wagon. And
I used to dumpster dive Hastings all the time.
Yeah,
back in the
that
day.
was
because they
spot.
put porno back in their
Exactly.
shit.
Yeah,
That's
there
why,
was.
dude, I did
There
that
was.
too.
Why would you
the
throw
reason I went in because
That's
there
so
was
true.
porn
This is not
like
sold.
on the
It's
street.
last month's
porn,
penthouse,
video
dude. They
games,
would've ripped
dude.
the
I would
covers
get
off
like
and throw 'em away.
PlayStation
Yeah,
games
yeah.
back there.
But
like
anyway,
the old
so that's-
rentals that were too scratched.
So
I
I
would get them
dug
and
up-
just get them unscratched, and it was
Yeah.
like $5. I'd get like the dope games. For
So I
$5.
dug
I
up
tried to sell
all
them to
of
kids at
these
school.
comics, right? Got like
I got
3
Splinter Cell, bro.
wagon
No, the
fulls.
pornos.
Splinter Cell, totally. That's a great
Splinter
game.
Cell. the
Sorry,
porno.
I'm interrupting you. No, I was
Yeah,
saying
go
I used to
ahead.
try to sell the pornos that we found
Splinter
to kids.
Cell.
But no, it was like 3 wagons full
That's
of
a
comics,
hustle right
and I
there.
literally just didn't do anything for the next like 2 summers. Like friends were out playing, and of course you can't call each other in 3rd, 4th grade, whatever. Who gives a shit?
I mean, you call like your household.
And no, wherever the bikes were is where you found the kids, right?
Oh,
you know?
yeah, okay.
But no, I literally just spent the entire time just fucking reading through comics, and they were like 90% Marvel. So like Ghost Rider and Punisher, like those were the comic
I
books.
do have a
that
lot of Marvel cards, dude.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have a bunch of cards. I have like racks of cards.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, of comic cards, dude,
That's
from
tight.
like the 90s. I'll
Yeah.
have to show those to you someday.
That's fucking rad.
Yeah.
Dude, all those characters that they haven't even yet introduced into the like world yet.
To the MCU.
Yeah, like
I was a huge Venom
because
fan.
they couldn't. They
Dude,
couldn't.
Venom was dope.
Venom was like
They're
my
about, to,
favorite
they're about to
character.
introduce a
Carnage.
lot of people.
yeah.
The
Adam
Elementals,
Spider?
I think.
You want to
mean,
know? Do you want to
There-
know who
yes.
the one, dude? Bringing this back around. If you want to be circular and cyclical about this, the one Doom.
Doctor
If
fucking
they
Doom.
if they
Yeah.
ever get Doom right from the Fantastic Four, they will
Yeah.
have a franchise on their
I
hands.
think
There's-
that
there's
they're
Four is
redoing
DC
it, aren't
though.
they? Again?
No, it's not.
Oh
Fantastic
wait,
Four is
no,
Marvel.
it is.
fourth
It's Marvel.
time.
Fuck.
So
It is
Doctor
Marvel.
Doom has a comic book series called The Books of Doom. And that story is the best story of
Is that
Doom
the one where he's
because it
against
portrays-
Mephisto?
Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
it's basically his life, and it basically tells the story of Doom as if he's the protagonist.
Yeah.
It's that everything that he's dealt with, the Fantastic Four, he even teams up with Doctor Strange in a couple series. He teams up with a lot of.
He's worked. With,
Marvel-
he's worked with Reed Richards in some of the comics.
numerous times.
Not because
Numerous
they're friends,
times.
but just because
No,
if there's
because
a
he
bigger,
was- he
bigger
had it.
fish, right?
Did
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
guys? Sorry, since you're a Marvel fan,
Mm-hmm.
are you guys like? You guys are really good about like stopping at the exact same time. I'm a Stephen King fan.
Yes.
And I'm a
fucking
Dark
love
Tower
Stephen
fan.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I have the
Yes.
Marvel Dark Tower hardbacks out here.
Really?
And they're like split offs from the original story. They kind of dive into
I never
a
read the
couple
books.
of like
I tried
the
to,
little
but I read
side
the
stories
unabridged
with
one,
them.
so I failed.
I've read them all,
I
dude.
watched them.
The
I'm-
the
I
Dark
am a-
Tower ties into it, doesn't it?
Dude,
They-
the Dark
he's got
Tower
his own
ties
universe,
into
dude.
everything.
Stephen King.
The Dark Tower is his opus, right? And it literally, what the Dark Tower is the tower connects you to every single dimension.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a
And
multiverse.
that's why Roland
Yeah.
is so obsessed with it is because he's trying to get back to the woman that he loved who died
Yeah.
in book 5, Song of Susanna. I'm fucking Stephen King
Yeah.
obsessed.
Dude,
I've read
so
all of
good.
his books, man. I've read everything.
Big
dude.
It fucking
you name it,
fan,
dude.
dude.
And some
Have
of
you
his
watched-
best
Have you
books.
watched Rose Red?
Stephen
I
King,
haven't.
dude. Yeah, dude. I loved Leaves of Grass, man. That was
Yeah.
yeah. For Whom the Bell Tolls, one of his best works.
Haven't even- yeah, that's not even his book.
I know, I'm
think.
just
I've never heard of
Hemingway, dude.
those.
I'm just fucking around.
I was like, I don't think it was
You're a
Stephen
piece
King.
of shit, man.
I love doing that shit. I do gotta get.
Yeah,
going,
let's
though,
get you
so.
rolling out here. All right, where can everybody find you? We've got. I didn't even introduce you guys, but you guys can stay for the intro.
Yeah.
Earthlings Entertainment.
Yep.
Give your shout outs. Where can people find you online?
Facebook, Instagram. I mean, all the social medias.
Yeah.
And your
Andy-
personal like your personal fucking pages
Andy
too. If
O.
you want.
Andio _ is, or Andio with hip hop is how you can find me.
Yeah.
00449 or whatever the fuck.
What the fuck?
What is it? What's your tag?
It's the real zero with the spelled out as THA and then real zero, and that's how you can find me.
Dope.
And then
Axiom the Wise, AXIOMTHAWYZE.
Awesome.
On
Think
all
about
the
how-
and then
channels.
we're all part of Earthlings Entertainment. We you can
Yeah.
find us on all those platforms as well. We've got
Hey, when is this coming out?
a great crew of people we run with. So
My shows are like kind of published out like 2 weeks already.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
probably the second week of
So by the
August.
time this
but
is
I can push
listened
this up
to-
if you guys want me to push
We
it
have
up.
a show August
Oh,
15th. Should
okay.
we plug it or not?
Yes, plug it right now, and
Okay.
then I'll publish you
Bang.
before the 15th.
Message.
August 15th, the Earthlings crew is throwing a show at the Shredder. Come hang out.
it's an all local show.
Oh, yeah.
Proceeds go
All
some of
local?
the
All
proceeds.
ages.
If
Go
I
to
can make
Radio
it,
Boise.
can I just put me on the press pass and I'll come take photos for you guys?
Okay,
Yeah, man.
you there?
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Done.
Done deal.
That'd be dope.
Cool.
I don't have problems. I've taken photos there before. All right, everybody, make sure you subscribe, give us 5 stars, pass the episode along, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Yeah.
Oh, peace.